last time
In
we
hell.
had
More or less
in
literally.
hell, we had a prequel, a flashback to what had happened before you became guests of this wonderful place called Velkenbelv. How do you know this is where you are?
Well, because we looked out the things and we had a person yell at us.
Yes.
She told us that that is really low quality.
It is. That's pretty bad.
Oh my god, that's awful. I've seen that higher quality than that.
Hold on, I can drop something better.
Okay.
Anyway, after a little bit of a how did we end up here adventure. All right, for some reason it just has Guido copied to the board. I don't know why. There we go. It's a little bit better. After a little bit of an escapade, some minor things that happened at a place called The Stop, you woke up and found yourselves in the company of one of the companions you had, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe it was yesterday, who knows. However much time before you were captured by the drow.
Could you do me a favor and turn yourself up, please?
Oh, sure. Is it doing that thing where it's...
you're just pretty quiet, that's all. I don't know if it's the thing.
I don't know. I'm wondering if this microphone is just...
Can you turn it down just a little bit, please?
All right, how about that?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry. Like it was peaking, and I'm like, wait. Pull it down.
So you found yourself in the company of a dwarf named Eldith as well, who seemed to have been captured along with you. She was, if you remember, a part of the Emerald Enclave, that patrol that you had encountered somewhat briefly, but had a whole lot of interaction with. And you woke up and found yourself in a cell, more specifically a cell of the drow. And how do you know it was a drow outpost? Because there were drow there, and then someone, what looked like a priest or a very high-level guard or someone, she had a multi-tentacle cat of nine tails-esque whip, which seemed to be moving about on its own. You can actually see it right here. And she had come up to you and given you a very brief rundown of what you were expected to do here, which was to accept your fate, learn to obey, and if you do that, you may survive.
Is death an option? I don't actually say that.
What language is she speaking?
She spoke to you in common. It sounded like she was fairly rather well practiced with it.
Okay.
So you guess probably not her first language, of course, but she's obviously very studied and had been using it quite a bit. And that's where we left off last time. You, as a reminder, you are all shackled right now. You have manacles on, and you are chained to each other.
All right. I save state. And then I slowly wrap the chain around Liam's neck and then just pull and tighten it and
just sleep.
It's okay, just go.
You're sitting there pulling and straightening on it. He looks at you wondering what you're doing.
Really, Princess Leia?
Are you okay?
Yeah. First thing I say thank you to Zira for the sub and welcome to the 1 Year Club and the usual question. The second thing I do is I start cursing in Dwarven under my breath.
So Eldith, the other dwarf, looks over you and says, I know it's a dire situation we found ourselves in for sure.
Dire? Dire is for rats, not for this.
You know, there aren't any rats around here either.
Thank God. I would be really worried if there were rats down here.
There's spiders, though. So.
I slowly wrap the chain around her neck.
While that drama's happening, I'm going to basically drop to a knee if that's possible with us being shackled together and see if I can feel a link to Kelemvor.
Yeah, so basically the way these shackles work just is they don't affect your movement speed, but they restrain you in such a way that if you were in combat, they would have a negative effect. Basically, it's disadvantage if you're in combat and attacking something physically.
Okay.
So you reach out and you just want to see if you can still hear Kellamvor here. And, just go ahead and make me a straight up religion check.
Okay.
Hopefully you should be good at that as a cleric.
One would hope.
I don't know.
17.
17, okay. So you reach out in the familiar ways, recite some comforting prayers. And you do still feel a connection to Kellamvor, although it seems to be weaker, probably because of just the innate, weirdness of this place.
Okay.
You feel a connection, but it just feels weird. Although,
like I've stepped into either away from or into a different domain.
Yeah. So this is where and this is where your religious training comes in. You suspect this is likely because you are probably in kind of what you just said, a different domain, but likely in a place that is protected or sanctified or even cursed by some other deity opposed to yours.
Okay. Which, out of game, I know what that is, but in game, since I've never been to the Underdark, I'm not as familiar.
Yes, but you can make educated guesses as to what it is, even without seeing any source of it.
So what do y'all think about spiders, all right? No.
Slowly wrap the chain.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I do have a quick question, Third.
Yes.
Could you do me a favor and pop me a number counter thing? Because I can't, because I'm not promoted, and if I'm promoted, I'll see your things, I'm guessing. So.
No, actually, I don't think so. So let me.
Just then if you could just promote me, I'll deal with it myself, and we can move on. I'm still fiddling. By the way, viewers on my stream, do me a favor and see what you think of the layout. What I know is active because I just tested it. Let me know what you think of it. I'm not super impressed myself so far. Also, hi, Ginger. We are level 1.
Yeah. The best level.
Side note, if it helps, I've changed the name on my video since my character's name is not easy to remember.
It's Taston, right?
Taston.
Okay. Yeah. Liam Taston, Mark, or Mark, if you prefer.
Mark.
Ironman. Oh, right. I'm supposed to be using my accent in character. I forgot about that.
Hello,
I have been revealed. What'd you say?
I have a viewer that I don't recognize the name, but I'm grateful for a viewer. Rabbit Queen Remy.
I don't recognize that either.
I'm sure I've probably seen the name before, but it's been a while since I've streamed, so my memory is faulty. Also, do you mind if I post a link in your chat, Lore?
Go to it.
Cadgar.net? I haven't seen this before.
Oh, for bio. Okay, cool.
It's a combined chat thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's very good. It's very weird. I see myself next to myself.
Aha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, no, pause the actual streams. Pause the actual streams. There we go. But now I have both chats, which should help.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So, I want to do are they gone? Have the two overlords left?
Oh, so wait, before, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but before they do, did we actually get the mistress's name? Because
yes.
You did.
Mistress Ilvara of House Mizram. I wrote it down because we have to address her.
Because, dear God, if you don't.
Right, yeah. Hence the concern. All right, so...
Yeah, I made sure to write that down.
I was just going to say, can someone tell me what it is so I can write it down?
Here, I'll copy it into the Zoom chat.
Okay.
There it is, because I wrote it down.
This picture you see right here is essentially the view that you have from their cell. So they are standing there, and she has that one guard there.
But she is still standing there. She's just staring at us, gloating.
Yeah,
like a drow.
Yeah, that's essentially what she is. She's like, I just want to see you suffer.
Okay, so what I do,
man, that's
is I start wailing and gnashing my teeth. You know, oh, this is the most horrible thing I've ever been through in my life. I'm not actually doing this. I am going to roll a wisdom save because will saves don't exist.
Right.
That's just straight wisdom, I suppose. Yeah, okay.
That is just straight wisdom unless you're proficient in it.
Now let's go ahead and get a dice out here then.
All right.
Because of course I don't. Why would I? That just make two. Ice. Metal, sure, I don't care. Here. Yeah, let's just get some dice. So, okay, there we go. Ahem. So I roll an unsupported format.
Sorry, that's my token.
Oh God!
Apparently, I need to somehow save the image to the cloud for you guys to see it, I apologize for that.
So I get an 11, which is actually a 13. So how good is that third? Do I succeed?
That is better than average.
Okay. So this is a will to not completely lose my mind.
Okay.
On the fun, to not just be traumatized by this, because I'm not that old. I'm 22 as a dwarf.
This is very like a baby.
I'm not that old. I'm not that experienced. I'm driven. Sure, I got a lot of ambition, but I'm mostly just kind of.
You're not even old enough to grow a beard yet.
Oh.
This is actually my in-character beard.
That makes sense.
and I am completely freaking out. Just
Liam slowly wraps the chain.
Yeah.
It's okay. I accept it. I embrace you.
Elza says, it'll be quicker this way. Shh.
Lord, I have another one to send to you. Hold on.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, no, I don't. I'm going to go ahead and be real here for a second. Third, I have no idea what to do.
It's okay.
As a player at this point, my thought is, okay, I'll wait for the cutscene to be over.
Oh, what cutscene?
Exactly. It just played. She's right there, and she's like, "There's no way you can possibly escape." And I'm just sitting there like, "Yeah, okay." Go ahead.
No. This is the part. You've heard stories about this where, of heroes who have encountered situations like this before, and somehow they always know what to do. They're always advancing the story, so to speak. But
and that's not me.
Yeah, as you sit here, you just realize that wow, this is for real, and you have no idea what to do next, and nothing is happening except for nothing.
Like I gotta be real. My character's probably thinking, okay, suicide pact, guys. Suicide pact.
Well, we've got these chains.
We've got the chains. I'll pull Liam's. Taston pulls mine.
Oh God.
No, but like that's what happens. You just like, what do we do? What do we do? And then you wait.
No, we don't wait. We search. Let's look around for a bit.
Oh, okay, sure. So I mean, you're in a cave that has.
So my roll doesn't matter.
I
know how this is structured. I'm not going to bother rolling. My character runs around searching.
Yeah, no, it's not a very large place to search. And by the way, as far as GM and style and stuff, I'm not going to make you roll for searching every single little crevasse or corner or whatever.
I've actually, a real quick story. I've had a GM, friend of mine actually, who really did do the 5 foot square at a time rule.
No.
And I stonewalled him. I'm like, look, I know your GMing style, and I am in an enemy fortress, which I know is trapped. Next square, next square, next square. And we just sat there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. And pretty much, even if you're in like a dangerous situation, let's say, for instance, you're in, I don't know, Tomb of Horrors, for just as some random example. Because we have things like passive perception, we don't have to sit here and roll every single time.
Yeah.
We can just be like, if you roll the 10, here's what you'd get. Right? This is your average. So if somebody bumps up their passive perception to like 25 or whatever, which is super high, yeah, you're going to see everything. That's fine. There's much worse things to happen to you than, traps that you can't see.
Yeah.
All right. So you start looking around just for anything. It looks like people have done this before. Like you go in there and you expect to find like some dirt in this crack, and you see like fingernail marks and stuff where somebody has dug some stuff out. So go ahead. You know what? Just roll me a straight D10.
And I will roll the futility dice. Where is it? There is no hope. I got a 7. There is no hope.
Okay. So you're grabbing around this place and you search around in the corner, and it's not so much you find like an item or something really particularly valuable, but you break off a piece of rock and it is shaped almost like a shank. And you're like,
What was that about a
"Somebody's-"
suicide pact?
I slowly
exactly.
turn to my comrades. I'm ready to take the final journey with you, my friends. Okay, I'll stub Taston, and Taston stabs me.
Liam and Taston, do you want to participate in the search as well?
So thinking back to my times as a street urchin growing up in the
Yeah.
streets, I immediately start looking at the manacles to find out, like, where's the keyhole? How are they bound?
Hmm.
Is there a way to manipulate these? How loose are they? That sort of thing.
Okay. The ones that you currently have on and that everybody else has on seem to be fairly sturdily made, although they're not the strongest stuff that you've seen. It's just fairly strong iron. It's going to be relatively difficult, you would think, to pick these. They just got this one keyhole in the manacles on your hands and then ones on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Provided you have some tools that could work with those, do you think you could potentially pick those open? You could also potentially, you think, just kind of balancing them on your hands and your feet, maybe slip out of them. That's going to be a little bit tough to do. And of course, if one is strong enough, they could potentially break some of the links on these, but that would take a very, very strong person.
Okay.
You think
and if
that,
you remember, I actually failed at that last time.
yes. And you think, I mean, just plain pounding them on something hard repeatedly could probably eventually break them as well. That, of course, just attracts a whole lot of attention.
She'll never know. Elves don't have good hearing, right?
Yeah, she's not paying attention to us at all. What are
She's
you
like
talking
looking
about?
at. I'm right. I can see.
Yeah, you look at it like she's not like actively just sitting there staring at you, but
That's actually literally what I'm picturing. She's just literally staring at us like, what? Oh, yeah, they're right there.
no,
Ha.
you can tell this seems to be something of a game to her. Like she's like, ooh, what are the new prisoners going to do this time? But she's kind of getting bored now that people are just kind of like, oh, what was me? And then just rummaging around.
There's no hope.
So she's talking to the guard next to her, and this guard next to her is like, even by Elvish standards, you recognize a pretty boy and not a fighter when you see him. Yes.
That's just, I keep
And
my
she's
mouth
talking
shut,
to, back to the language thing, she is talking to him in Elvish.
which I do know.
You do know?
Yep.
All right. She is currently conversing with him about all the stuff they're going to do once they get back to her ritual chambers.
Oh, that's
I
like,
can't understand that.
Is there anything specific that I care about, or is this just chatter?
Stuff I don't want to really repeat on stream. It's obvious what the relationship is.
Gotcha. That's really something. I actually cover my ears after being like, oh God.
Can't unhear that.
But you do hear them say that they're likely going to partake in this after the rest of the prisoners get back from mucking the Quaggoth pens.
From mucking?
Yeah.
Real quick, the viewer, the player is stupid. What's mucking?
Cleaning out the excrement.
Okay. Okay. Can I get a promote real quick again, please?
Oh, sure.
Sorry, I'm trying something. I'm always tinkering. You know me.
Yes. All right, so, Liam.
I still don't have a connection to magic, do I?
That didn't work.
Not really. It's weird. Like you can tell you're not in something that's just obviously like dead to magic, to the weave, but it feels super weird.
Okay.
And you, if I recall correctly, you tried to cast a spell before and it just fizzled.
Just double checking.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and sit next to the bars in a position where I can overhear what they're saying But if I need to move to allow Mark or Taston to search the cell, I will, but I will try and be subtle about it.
Yeah. For as far as searching the cell, no real need. It's large enough that you don't really get in the way. And as a matter of fact, it probably helps them out a little bit because you block a little bit of the view if you're next to the bars.
Okay. I was worried that the chain would not be long enough. So, but if it is, yeah, I'm just going to sit by the door and try and overhear anything that I can.
Do you understand Elvish?
I do not, but I do understand Undercommon.
Okay. They're speaking in Elvish right now. So unfortunately, they're not using any Undercommon at the moment. But I will keep that noted. All right. So you found some sort of shank. And Eldith is kind of just like following people around half-heartedly. Like she has already since like given up whatever is going to happen here. So she goes over to Taston. And she says, you were the holy man on the journey some time ago, weren't you?
Yes.
I see. If you don't mind me asking, which god do you serve?
I serve Kellenbor, the judge.
The judge. Okay. Is that a human god?
Yes, he is the one who oversees the dead and judges them before passing them on to their planes of existence.
Oh, that seems unfortunately appropriate for what's happening here. I don't suppose you have any divination as to what's going to happen to us in the future. Any hopes as to what's going to happen to us now that we've been imprisoned here?
Hope's not as of yet, but rest assured, he is with us. I have already communed, and he is aware of at least my situation and thus your situation. And he will not turn his eye away from us. He is with us now, as he is always.
If you'd asked me weeks ago, I wouldn't have taken much stock in a human priest, but that's comforting to hear. Listen, I don't know if you or these folks you're with have any sorts of plans at all to get out of here, but
I immediately stammer.
But
It's not the plan we were expecting, but it is abrupt.
I'm sorry. That is not what happens.
Yeah, but I might potentially be able to, if you get us out of here, lead you to a dwarven outpost that I think is relatively nearby. I don't exactly know where we are. I can't really tell just from looking out of the cell, but
I think there's a dwarven outpost down in the Underdark.
have you heard of Gauntlgrim before?
That's a good question. I roll history.
If you're a dwarf, you get this for free.
I have, of course, a herald of Gauntlgrim. What kind of
Who hasn't?
stupid, piss flat, pineapple and strawberry question is that?
Oh, you know some of the traditional dwarven curses. I see.
Oh, I know all of them. I know all about pineapple.
So Gauntlgrim is, as far as you know, and probably both Liam and Taston had at least heard of it in passing. It's one of the places that's famous enough for you to at least know the name. Is in Old Dwarven City that, as far as you know, Mark, however you're supposed to say this, we'll just say Mark, has been abandoned, but there had been rumors as of late that an individual, a pretty famous dwarf named Brunor Battlehammer, had been making efforts to reoccupy the city and reignite the Great Forge that's there. whether or not that it actually been
That
happening.
sounds like insanity to me.
It's
But,
it's one of those things where, you know, an equivalent would be, let's go to the mines of Moria and retake it.
yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking.
And we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, that
a lot
was
of running, screaming.
Yeah, it was probably not that bad, but it was an Underdark city, or at least it had entrances and exits to the Underdark. So it seems plausible that it could potentially be here around here. But she says, I was part of an expedition on our way to help reinforce and scout out the place. It had been overrun as far as I heard. Obviously, we never got there, but I do know the general location of it. And if we can get out of here and find our bearings, somehow survive, I could potentially lead you to Gauntlgrim. And at the very least, Bruno or Battlehammer and some small occupying force should be there.
I stroke my extremely small beard.
Says, that looks. How old are you, son?
I'm a fully grown adult by the commons of my people. Thank you very much.
You don't look a day over 82.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say that. I try to keep my youthful complexion. I'm also losing my accent for some reason.
About that time, Liam, as you are there by the bars, you see both of the drow look off to one of the other barred entrances on the other side. You see 4 other drow warriors dressed similar to the guard over there, and they seem to be escorting another group of prisoners. You recognize the glint of the manacles and such over there in the torchlight, and they raise the bars. And you see the Mr. Silvara and her companion. They look back towards the cage, give a little bit of a satisfied smirk at you, Liam, and walk across the bridge back towards the hollowed out stalagmite. And they conduct some business with the guards. You notice they lead a fairly large group of prisoners of various shapes and sizes over the bridge. And you see a rather motley crew.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, start making their way back towards the cell that you're in. You're like, this is going to be a tight fit if all of them are being led over here.
It's okay. I know how this works. You need to kill the biggest one to establish your dominance over the group, right?
Oh, and you see the biggest one.
And what is it?
Liam, you recognize this full-blooded orc leading the pack.
I turned to Liam and like, okay, you'll need to kill him in order to establish your
although
dominance.
second most to him, there seems to be this... Now, do you know what a Quaggoth is? Just the player know what a Quaggoth is.
It sounds familiar, but I can't remember off the top
So
of my
there's
head.
actually one on the map right here that you can barely see over here. But they are essentially... I mean, they're Underdark bears, almost.
Okay.
Although a little more intelligent than normal animals.
Okay.
If you're thinking of like a Yeti or an abominable snowman, except, you know, not in a cold climate, you'd be very close to these things. And they're just
Sasquatch.
Yeah, kind of like that, except all blue and white furred.
Okay.
This one seems to be wearing some sort of ramshackle tunic that looks like it's been prettied up for some particular reason. But they're all wearing mainly like tatters and rags and such.
But the Quaggoth is one of the prisoners?
Yes.
Okay.
There also seems to be a couple of, and when I say couple, I mean 3 deep gnomes with them. You recognize one who is a little bit more adult than 2 other ones. 2 of them are obviously very young adults, if not like almost children. And they seem to kind of be clinging to each other. You do see, strangely enough, a drow amongst the prisoners as well.
Is it male?
It is. You do see a darrow. Are you familiar with what a darrow is?
Oh, actually.
So they're short. about the same height as gnomes or halflings. And they look like, this one at least, looks like a very withered deep gnome almost. You can tell, and everybody can roll like a history check if they kind of want to know a little more about Darrow. If you're a dwarf, you at least know of them. They're kind of seen as the Murlocs of the Underdark, if that makes any sense. Associated with Duragar a lot. What have you got, Liam?
I got a 15.
15. Okay. So you kind of recognize what this creature is, a Darrow. Generally, they are known as bums and slaves of the Duragar, of the Underdark. They almost never come to the surface at all, except as like servants or slaves of Duragar, and they generally have a bad reputation. But there's very little known about them, and also they're known to be like crazy. And the very last person you see being escorted along seems to be this fat little fish-like person, Kuotoa, if you're keeping track, who seems to be in this... actually, Mark, you recognize like a meditative state when you see one. Like he's going across there, and he doesn't seem to like have a care in the world, even though he's being escorted, kind of half dragged. He just seems to be off in another place.
I gotta be honest, I kind of wish I was in another place right now too, so I'm with him.
Yeah. If this wasn't the place where you are, you would think he's probably on something, but who knows? Maybe he is. So Eldith kind of like goes up there and watches this happen. She says, "Well, here's the rest of the prisoners. Just be careful. They're a little bit of a rough punch, but keep to yourself and should be fine." And she then goes to the back, letting the four drow lead these four, or these, how many people are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 other individuals to your cell. And the four guards come over there. One of them pulls out this key, seems to insert it into the wall next to the cell. You hear some clicking. And 2 of the other ones push open the gate. And you notice that these prisoners don't have the chains connecting them that you do. They just they're manacled, but they're not chained to each other. And almost immediately, Liam, you're up front there, right? You were the ones by the bars? Almost
and
immediately.
I would have made it a point to step back.
Okay. So you notice that as this group is approaching, that full-blooded orc is giving you like the stare. And you recognize like the challenging stare, like that, are we going to have trouble here? Is someone going to knock me down from my position? He seems to think he's in charge. You can just tell. As a matter of fact, as soon as the gates opened, he kind of just moves out, and you're obviously the largest one out of all of them. He just moves straight up to you. And I'm assuming you know Orcish. I think half orcs come with that, right?
Yeah.
He just pulls up to your face and says, "We're going to have trouble."
I am going to...
New blood.
So he's looking at me like dead in the face.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn. And that's it.
Okay. Just giving him the cold shoulder kind of?
Yep. I'm not challenging him, but I'm not acknowledging his challenge.
Okay. He puts his hand on your shoulder and tries to pull you around to face him.
I'm readying a spell.
Talking to you, Happy. What'd you say?
I'm readying a spell.
Okay. So you try to ready a spell, and just like Liam's, it just kind of fizzles.
This will not do.
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone do like an Arcana check on these chains to see if they're what's stopping us from casting?
I actually have
Not while I'm being manhandled, but yes.
I do not have that ability.
I mean, anyone can make an Arcana check. If you don't have it, it's a straight up intelligence.
All right.
4.
Which is funny because that's
Not really sure.
I rolled that as well. A 4.
Okay. Like, just in like the couple seconds while this is happening, this other deep gnome like saddles up to Mark, and he says, "Hey," and he just points at this orc and this half orc. He says, "Betcha that shank you got there, that the big one comes out on top. What do you say?"
I slowly wrap the chain around his neck.
Just without a word.
just quiet, just dead silent. I just start.
He says, "Hey, don't do that, buddy.
Then I pull him over.
Listen, I know I give off a strong first impression. But
I'm debating if I want to actually do this or not. Let me think about
says,
that for a second.
listen. Takes the chain off. I don't mean no offense, but like this is how we pass things around in this system. Trust Jimja. This is how things work around here. You don't know the guy who's just about to get his head taken off, do you?
I mean, not personally.
I turn to the gnome. I haven't said a word in character.
Yeah. No, he's trying to chat you up, obviously.
And I pull out the shank.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at him, and I just kind of gesture like, let's see if he understands what I mean. Deliberately not speaking.
He kind of rummages around, and like he's just wearing very basic rags, but he seems to be checking a whole lot of places. And he pulls open this makeshift hidden pocket that he has on his side, and you see like a glint of what looks like some very, very small makeshift picks. He kind of gives you a gesture and then closes the pocket.
Okay, I will, in character, nod, and then go ahead and I say pocket. Do I have a pocket? Tell me I have a pocket.
Not unless you make one.
Okay. I grab him and I slide it into his chest. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Technically a pocket.
I need a pocket stab. Here, let's hold this. No, okay. And what I do is I want to show off a little bit, so I'm going to roll the dice.
Okay.
And I'm going to fail, and it's going to be horrible, but I'm going to try. Oh, God dang it. So that is a 10.
Okay, what are you trying to show off?
In brief, I'm just trying to do something kind of like this. Just playing with it with my fingers.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So with a 10, I'll say you do the thing that like everybody does when they have some sort of weapon-like thing in their hand. You know, they do the little flipping thing.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like it's like
nothing super fancy, just
But at the very least, you don't drop it, right?
Yeah. And I observe my good compatriot Liam, who I barely know's conflict with the orc. Also, as an aside, how do readied actions work in 5th edition?
So if you're doing a ready action, that means we're basically immediately moving into combat. Because ready actions don't happen outside of combat. Now, depending on what it is, it can basically just be anything. It's just what is going to be the trigger and what is going to be your reaction. Well, the general rule is that it has to have the thing you're trying to do. It has to be an action or less.
Well, I have a feeling you know what the trigger is, but the action is going to be basically a charge straight for the big guy.
Okay, you're gonna shank him if he.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I got Liam's back if it comes down to it.
Okay. Right before we get back into this, what potentially may be a fight.
Taston's just watching.
Taston. You see, the other prisoners are just kind of looking at this with disinterest, like they've seen this before.
Okay.
And moving on, like these two other deep gnomes, one of them seems like almost unhinged, and he's just like sitting there staring at you, going, while the other one is tightly grabbing his shoulders and moving him away, like she's almost embarrassed that he's doing this.
Okay.
The other one's pass you. You hear the drow talking to this Diro, and he's like, "No, not the one. I hope that they're not going to make us clean all the blood and guts off the floor this time."
So I'm gonna, while this confrontation's happening with Liam and this orc, I'm gonna kind of edge around to behind the orc
Okay.
That if stuff pops off, I'm going to come in from behind.
Okay. I just go ahead and make me a stealth roll, and I'll give you advantage since he's obviously distracted. Okay.
Rolled a 9, rolled an 11 with my stealth. That's 3, so 14.
Okay, that's pretty good. The orc doesn't really make any indication that he's sensed you moving around behind him. And meanwhile, back to the orc, who has just at this moment grabbed Liam on the shoulder and tried to pull him around. Says, "I'm talking to you, Haffy."
Now you said he grabbed.
Yes.
Is he like?
You know when somebody grabs you on your shoulder, kind of like spin you around to face you.
Okay. So he's not trying to hold on to me per se. He's just trying to turn me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
With the manacles and the chain, how much maneuverability do I have? Because I'm not going to take an action. I'm not going to take the action that I want to if I will literally like just fall over myself.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Especially since the rest of them are manacled, so essentially anything you do is a wash.
So here's what I want to do. He's gripping me and turning me, but he's not holding on.
Yeah,
I want to drop down, and so he's turning me. So I'm using that turn to spin as I drop and catch him in the back of the knee.
Okay. All right. So
Sure, take my idea. I was going to go for the back of the knee if he started anything with you.
Okay, so this is funny because I was actually also going to go for the back of the knee.
If I've learned nothing
So everything
from these
happens
games,
Not actually kidding about that.
three people just jump and his knee pulverizes.
Like, I don't know if there's called strikes, but that is what I was going to do.
No, so at this point, since this is going to take a bunch of things off, everybody roll initiative.
Okay, well, since we're doing that, thank you very much, Command and Conquer. Much obliged, as always, sir. And you know the question, so I ask you the question. I got to find the window. Here we go. Actually, I have a D20. I have it right here. I'm going to roll a real life dice, and it's going to roll really well. Oh, my God, it did. That's a 21 for me.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm ready. I've got my prepared action. I've got my reaction ready to go for the knee.
All right, Liam, what do you have?
I got a 15.
15.
Nice.
Okay. All right, and Taston?
7.
7.
I'm asleep at the wheel.
Let me do him.
I mean, it's been a long day, you know.
So, Taston, you're actually still not last?
Okay.
All right. So, and just to clear up stuff, because I get like asked this sometimes about how doing initiative and surprise and all that sort of stuff works. Essentially, unless they're absolutely unaware or have no reason to suspect that you're going to fight at all, I generally just go straight to initiative. And the reason being is that I think it would suck if I'm sure you've played in games before where the first one to just call out whoever, they want to attack just goes first. I don't want to have the monsters do that to you. So
Yeah.
you'll always get a chance to react unless there's absolutely no way you could have seen it.
Damn it, Bregwin. Now I'm going to roll a 1.
Yes. But in this case, everybody in the party has gone before this guy. This full-blooded orc who seemed to be a little too full of himself and didn't expect that 3 people were just going to jump him as soon as he started causing trouble.
He was like, all right, time to show the new me. Oh, God, my knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So technically Mark has a higher initiative. But Mark, you see Liam, you start going down for that strike, right? And this orc is like totally not expecting it. He's even just like sitting there looking at you like, what is he doing? As you're literally bending down. So Mark, do you want to go after Liam or strike or preemptively strike? Because you see.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and charge in because I see what's happening,
yes.
And I am going to presume the worst for obvious reasons. Hang on, let me pull out our figurines here. There we go. So monk, that's me. There's the mage. There's the cleric.
Yeah.
He's the God. Those are huge. Look how giant these eyes
I
are
made them.
compared
I
to
made
us.
them bigger just so you could see
Oh
them.
my God. Okay, so like he's over here by the orc. These guys don't exist. And I'm like over here. Where are you, Taston?
So I'm back here.
Okay, and I've been assuming I'm just kind of like over here-ish with
Yeah.
the gnome dude.
Yeah.
Kind of like here. So what I'd like to do is to charge in over here and go for the back of the knee as hard as I can. So
Okay.
charge strike, basically.
Okay. Go
As an
ahead.
aside, because of the fact that I'm making an unarmed action, I get another unarmed action, so I'm actually making 2 strikes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yep.
true.
I bothered to do a little homework on this.
It's true.
So
Go ahead and make an attack roll then
where's my-
against this unarmored low dexterity orc.
So it's proficiency bonus, right? Or is it strength? I actually don't know.
So as a monk, you can choose your dex or strength plus your proficiency for the attack roll.
Okay, well that's only 21.
Oh,
For the first
misses.
strike.
Misses. Sorry, this guy's from Pathfinder.
The second one. You remember when I found, and real quick, those of you in my chat, you remember when I streamed Pathfinder and I was fighting level 5 skeletons with 30 AC, and I'm like, you're kidding, right? And people in chat are like, no, that's Pathfinder, dude. What? Anyways, so that would be a 14 on the second strike. Or no, I'm lying, a 16, sorry.
All right, both of those connect.
All right, well, that's going to be 2d4, basically.
Plus either your strength or dex for the
It's
modifier.
literally identical at this point, so.
Okay.
1, that's a 3, and that's a 3. So that's 10 damage total.
Okay.
And again, in
So-
lore, in character, I like charge up, and the one fist goes right for the back of the knee, and then the other fist also goes right for the back of the knee. Just 1, 2, right in there.
All right. So you get 2 solid strikes in. Like you do the thing where you go boom, boom. You're like, ooh, something's broken there. He goes, oh,
Yeah, there's a loud wet noise.
my knee backs. That messed him up quite a bit. Like you're like, there's probably some internal bleeding there. Liam, you want to keep going for it?
Bam! And I'm standing there in pose, ready. By the way, just ready. To go.
You got a clear shot.
So I'm doing the leg swipe
Yeah.
or sweep,
Don't hit
and
me.
I'm hopefully, and I'm trying to like push with my hand as well
Mhm.
to basically bring him down.
Okay.
Is this dexterity or strength?
For you, it'd be strength.
You sure? Because it seems like it's more of a dexterous kind of.
Maybe you should let him do dexterity. I think that, yeah.
This
Please?
This is too much strength.
Damn it. It's not so bad. It's 15.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. And that does connect. And go ahead and all right. So, what's your strength modifier? Just curious.
0.
Okay. All right. So we'll say this. So he's very concentrated on the person who just pulverized the back of his knees. So you go around and you connect, and you finish that move, and he goes down on his back as you trip him up. He takes 1 point of damage. As he goes down, and he is not having a good day. You can see that, it's already turning purple down there, and he just fell over on his back and cracked his head on the ground. He's an orc, so he's still up, but he's not looking good. Grimjar, all right. Do you want to do anything else?
I still have a move action technically.
Yes.
And a bonus action if whatever prompts it.
I am going to kneel
Okay.
on his neck.
Okay.
That checks out.
Are you trying to assert dominance?
Yes, at this point.
All right. Make
And I will also. So speaking, I'm assuming it's still a free action.
Mhm.
I'm just going to say, I just wanted to be left alone.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an advantaged intimidation check.
Okay. That's a 7. And that's a 10. No, it's more than that. Hold on. No, it is a 10.
Okay. Okay, a 10. All right. So he looks up at you as you like kneel on his neck, and he says, "I ain't gonna leave you alone for that. You're gonna die before you get." Wait, where are we going again?
Does he say that in character?
Yes.
God, okay.
I was
And
just
Jim
being
George
friendly.
says,
Exactly,
It's
Platt.
Menzo Baranzin, you idiot.
Wait, what?
Great.
Does my
That's-
character know about Menzo Baranzin?
Mm,
I mean, I do, but
yeah. No, make me a straight history check. It'd be pretty easy since this is,
Would I know?
15.
History check.
No,
15.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
15.
You do.
Never mind.
16.
Oh, nope. That was not in my course of study.
Well, what'd you get total?
7.
7.
I have a +5.
So just so you know, some DCs do start at 5.
No, that yes.
Like
I-
two
I-
I've at least
addition,
heard.
it makes sense.
but I rolled a 2.
Yeah, no, I got you. So you've at least like heard of it. You're like, oh, this is something I've heard about. It's like Big Drow Capital City or something. That's about all you know. You know what, Lore? Would you like to explain a bit about Menzo Baranzin?
What you?
Since you got a 15 above.
Oh.
And of course, Fastin, you know this too since you got this.
Hang on, let me pull up the official thing here.
I like having
Let
the
me
lore
just go
runner
ahead.
explain the lore of various places and people. And
Like, I'm
things.
trying to think of where to start with this. Okay. God, where do I begin? So, what century is this again? Remind me. 15 something?
We're in like 1490.
1490. I'd say so. Right at the 15. Right. So, okay. Menza Baranzan, ladies and gentlemen, is a. I guess I'm not doing this in character, am I?
No, so this, Tastin, unless you want to do something to mess with this orc.
At this point, since this has been kind of like finished now,
Mhm.
my first thought was like, okay, I'm gonna heal his knee, but then I remember I'm having trouble casting healing spells, so I'm
Mundane
gonna
medicine.
try and just do like a kind of triage medical check on him.
Okay.
I can at least like make it so it's not worse and gonna bleed internally forever.
Okay. We'll go back to you in a second, because I kind of like the you stepping out to speed. Menzo Baranzin.
Hang on. Real quick. Do monks still have the ability to freely switch to subdual in 5th edition?
So they somewhat gave that ability to everybody in 5e. The way this works is that there's no non-lethal damage anymore.
Okay.
But if you reduce a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, specifically with a melee attack, you may choose to knock them unconscious instead of killing them or putting them in the bleed.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of... So it's back to my turn, right? Because
Well, it's Tastin's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Tastin passed. All right, go ahead, Tastin. Sorry. Because I want Tastin to conclude, because then I want to do something, and then I want to talk to Liam in character.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a whole scene constructed here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come up to the orc. Like, I'm just gonna check your leg. I normally have some.
I think
healing
it's
ability.
broken.
I'm gonna try and see if
Hang
I
on.
can
Smack.
stabilize you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's
We're gonna
broken.
stabilize you by hitting it repeatedly.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me a medicine check.
Okay.
And actually, as you do that, you see that big quaggoth that you saw before comes over and kind of like leans over you, Tastin. He says, "Excuse me, sir. I am proficient in the ways of the medical arts. Allow me to assist you."
Of course, he's the smart
Thank you
one.
kindly. I rolled a 19.
And who here can speak Elvish?
I cannot.
Okay.
Am I the only one? This is going to be interesting.
I speak
You
Common
recognize,
and
like-
Epistle.
an Elven accent from this guy.
Oh, God. Okay, got it. He's the traitor. Right, moving on.
So,
Just randomly
we give
stab him
everybody
immediately.
British accents just
Hitler!
you're thrown off.
Yeah, he's clearly.
So Prince, he says, "My name is Prince Darendil. It is my pleasure to assist you, commoner." So Prince Darendil will use the help action. So that means, Taston, you have advantage on your check.
Okay. So first roll was 14. Second roll was 5. I'll stick with the first one. So total on 19.
19. Okay. So the prince basically holds down Ront with his mass and just says, "You absolute blithering idiot. Let him help you or you're going to lose your legs, I think." And Taston, you go in there, you're like, "Yeah, this is going to be bad, but you kind of need to splint this up. You grab some rocks, I guess. And you're like, don't do
Split it
this
with a really long rock.
Yes, you're like, this looks like it'll be okay. You would probably need to attend it for a little bit and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, like stand up and start trying to stomp people.
Mhm.
But as long as he's under your supervision, you think he probably will be okay as long as he keeps off of them. Now, in a prison, not sure that's going to happen, but you have stabilized him for now.
Okay.
And then, Mark.
You have no idea how tempted I am.
Cord just said it's
like
Flintstone surgery.
So you have a captive audience right now. All the prisoners are just kind of sitting there staring, wondering what's going to happen. Jim Jar you notice that Jim Jar is passing various pieces of shanks, and even swear you see a few pieces of silver between the prisoners as he seemed to have been taking bets throughout this entire thing.
So
even the drow are over there. They closed the gate, but they're sitting there watching. What are we going to do?
For the sake of the scene, first of all, can I assume we're out of combat?
Yes.
Okay. Second of all, for the sake of the scene, can I request that before I actually do anything, he comes over to pay me?
Oh, of course. You actually look at him. You're like,
no, I'm there. I haven't said a word this whole time. That's important. So I've got him down, and I just go and look, and I just pin him with a look.
Yeah. So this is important. He actually goes in plain sight of the drow guards. He actually has to make a check. Okay. And he goes up and he pats you on the back and he says, "I think you're going to fit in here quite nicely." And you feel something slip down your shirt.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. So, and then of course it's a beetle that eats me alive from the inside out.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
always a beetle.
Have you seen The Mummy?
Yes, I have. I don't want
Scarab is
no.
literally exactly what I was just thinking of.
Yep. It's all bad.
Get it out. Get the knife. Get the knife.
Thank you.
There we go.
You rock, man.
What happened?
I just got a sub.
Woo!
Oh.
Congrats. At tier 1. Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind. I was about to say tier 2, and then I corrected myself because I'm an idiot. That chat is really tiny on my screen for some reason. So I see him leave. I look down at him. I look up at the Quaggan. I know that's what it's called.
Quaggoth.
Quaggoth. There we go. See, okay, I'm sorry. Viewers at home, have you ever played Guild Wars 2? Because there's a species in Guild Wars 2 called a Quaggan. It's the most adorable, cute little thing ever. They have little high-pitched voices, and they're really adorable. And just picture if you made something cute and then built a species on the cultural identity of cute, and that's a Quaggan. Anyways,
No.
that's why I keep getting Okay, so I look up at the Quagga.
It looks like and I just had the name. Mass Effect, the things that talk really slow.
Kinda, yeah. More adorable, but yeah,
Yes.
they're a similar species.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
That's
not that
what a Quaggoth looks like.
That's not.
It's a big
Do they eat your
negatory on
faces?
that.
Actually, no. They never eat your faces. They really are just adorable. That's their purpose in
Elcor. Yes, thank you, Bergman.
the cute ones. All right. I look up at Liam. You happen to know anything about Menzoberran's and lad? And I want to make sure. In fact, I want to roll for this. I'm getting into theater here. My character has no intelligence whatsoever, because that's why I rolled a 1. Can I take that back? I've decided not to roll.
Just, hey, guys.
Because I don't want to ruin the scene. The scene's going so well. I don't want to ruin it.
Just keep going.
Okay. So the idea is, I'm basically just trying to make a point. This was intended to be an intimidate roll. Not for him, obviously. You ever heard of Menzoberran's and lad?
Something about the drow, but
It's the Drow capital. It's the center of all of their slimy and sniveling little plots for the better part of the last 400 years. Every single little stinking, worthless pit of their wonderful, generous kindness.
Yeah, I'm edging away from the bars.
You notice that the drow prisoner is giving you the glare as you're sitting here describing one of his cities.
Of all 8 of the great houses, all of them have their fingers in Menza Baronzen. It is the nexus of not only the Underdark, but of the great Spider Queen. And I'm going to say it that way.
Both be praised.
Wait, who says that?
The drow prisoner.
Oh my God. We got to kill him. He's got to die.
For the record, I rolled an 18 for perception.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see anything out of the corner of my eye for the guards at the gate?
So they seem to be observing this thing with interest. On them, one of them who seems to be like the captain or something of sort, that seems to have the key. He looks to be somewhat battle scarred, like he's been in quite a few battles and maybe lost one very badly. You see they have hand crossbows. They have some bolts on their side. You see several vials, probably poison or some sort of weird drink. They have short swords. The captain has a shield on his back. They've got some scale mail on.
Okay. All good information, but I was more referring to how are they reacting to what Ma'ark is saying?
Oh,
they or just the battle itself, that battle.
Gotcha.
The curb stomp that just happened.
Yeah.
So they seem amused, although you notice that they did have hands resting on their hand crossbows, like they're ready to do something in case, I don't know, you crossed some line that they
sure
have.
Okay. And then with the description that Mark was giving, is there any kind of reaction?
They seem to think it's amusing.
Okay.
Like, not that, haha, he's right, but more like, yeah, just let the dirt talk.
Okay.
We don't really care.
They're not raising the crossbows to shoot him per se.
No, they don't
Pointing right at him.
They don't seem to be like zealously loyal to making sure that Menza Branson's name is protected or anything like that. Probably because you're not important enough to really matter what you say.
All right. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just had to make sure that.
Yeah, I got you. Make sure you weren't about to get shot full of crossbows or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good
Yeah.
check.
Or bullets, rather.
Lord, please continue.
God, I lost my place.
A wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yes.
Well, no,
Led by the 8 houses.
The Spider Queen, right? I actually deliberately paused after that because I wanted to see if anyone had a reaction to me saying the Spider Queen.
I was going to do a religion roll, but I was going to hold that until the end of your speech.
Well,
Are you
like I said,
proficient?
I am deliberately pausing.
Are you proficient in religion testing?
I am.
You know who Loth is.
Oh, okay, great. Skip that whole.
Yeah,
That's why I can't cast
pretty
anything.
well known.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
It's like, do you know who the devil is?
Yeah. Have you
as it
heard?
happens.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I will say this. The drow prisoner, he says, both be praised, and he kind of looks over at the guards like he's like, we'll see, I'm loyal or something like that.
Yeah.
They do turn their attention to you, Mark, when you start talking about Loth.
Mhm.
Like kind of like they're still amused, but watch what you say.
Okay,
You don't get the sense that you're in immediate danger.
real quick, how do our viewers like the new overlays I've been quietly putting together for the last few minutes? So, and I'm trying to think of where to go next when discussing Menza Baronzen. There's actually a lot to talk about there. That's why I pulled up the list to refresh myself on a couple names. So, okay, just to be clear, second, third, and fourth editions did happen in lore, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to start into a story about the silence of Lolth because I want to gauge people's reactions to it. So I'm going to pull like the whole, kind of sit over here, take a knee, so to speak. I'd love to sit on the orc, but I don't actually want to push my luck. I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted.
The only other thing you see to really sit around here is there's this big mushroom that looks almost like a stool.
I sit on the orc.
Oh, okay. He's in the orc. He's like, oh.
The silence of Lolth. This was 1372 by the common reckoning. And this was when Lolth simply vanished. There was no more answers, no more spells for any of her priestesses. Truly a dark time for the Underdark. It's amazing that they managed to survive at all. If it wasn't for Dritz, and I pause for a second to see if any reactions.
Oh, okay. At this point, they stop smiling.
It's entirely possible that filth, Dritz, might not have gotten in the way, but regardless... Actually, hang on. No, that's not what I want to do that. See, the problem is my character's not very charismatic, so I'm trying to play someone who's not that charismatic, who's just trying to make a point. Because I'm learned. I have decent skills in that. Let's do this one. So after I've name-dropped Dritz, I want to name-drop Bainray.
Okay.
Quenthil Bainray. Who, if at last check, which would have been at the end of 4th edition, she was still in charge of Menzoberranzan. She was the one on top. So I'm just... if it was not... Thankfully, the scum, Dritz, was defeated by the... God, I've already forgotten how to pronounce her name. Bainray. God, I hate trial names. By the great mother Bainray, who last I checked still reigns supreme in sharing the prosperity of her people henceforth. Take a drink. Any reactions to Bainray?
Make me an insight check, because they haven't changed their expression.
See, for those of you at home wondering what the hell I'm doing, the Drow hate each other as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to gauge house politics for whoever we're in right now. Insight is a thing that I know how to do it. I definitely do. But for those at home who don't know how to do an insight check, maybe you could explain this to me. Oh, it's just a skill. I see it.
Yeah. It's a wisdom skill, actually.
Okay. So 12. Not great.
12. Okay. That is enough to tell that you are probably the 3 guards that are not the captain seem to just be like wondering where you're going with this.
Okay.
You can tell that the captain is paying very, very close attention to you. Like you are talking about a house that he is very in touch with or interested in, whether for better or for worse, you don't know.
Yeah, it could be his opponent or rival, or he could be a part of it, but...
Yes.
Okay. That is actually exactly what I wanted to know. Thank you. So I am then going to blather on for a little bit. I don't actually want to recite this. Just a few little factoids about Menzoberranzan. Oh, I got one I'll do in character. There was a brief period of time where one of the Ballspawn actually went through Menzoberranzan. Caused a bit of a stir on his passing. He went through with a great elven wizard, Jonathan Renicus. And I don't want to tell stories, but he and the local house mother, whew, let's just say that was a fascinating night from what I understand.
So at this point, the captain speaks up in kind of like very broken Common. He says, "You are finished. Silence."
I don't actually say
no
anything.
talk.
I just completely shush. And I turn to look at him calmly, and then I turn to look back at the group. I'm still sitting on the orc.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care about that. He talks to the guards in Elvish. Which means he says, go and prepare the meals. Bring enough for all but one.
No reaction.
And you see 2 of the guards go off. And he points at 4 of you, the orc, Liam, Tristan, and Mark. Or Taston, sorry, I don't know if I said Tristan. Taston.
The new character. All right.
He said, "Hey guys, I'm Tristan. I was here all along." And Taston, and he says, "You 4, meal duty. You come."
I'll go ahead and calmly step up off the orc at that.
Mhm.
Still not talking.
No, he says, "No, you carry orc."
Now, I'm actually looking down at the orc. Is he looking at me by any chance?
He seems to be very, very. You sense he has very, very intense focus, but for the wrong things at the moment. All of this is like going above his head. He's just like, "Oh, knee hurt. Oh, kill something."
Something's got to die for this.
Yes.
You don't understand.
Yes. The Quaggoth just kind of like steps away. All the rest of the group just like step away, like they don't want any involvement in whatever's going on here.
I like to
Except for
think
the
the whole group
orcs.
as a group just.
Yeah, no, they kind of just like go
like,
into
actually
the
here.
shadows.
Hang on. It's like this.
Yep. Slowly back away.
Although you do hear Jim Jar. Oh, Liam, you said you spoke Undercommon. You're hearing
Yes.
some Undercommon right now, as the deep gnomes start talking to each other in Undercommon.
Okay.
The older one who had been talking before says to like the younger one, he says, "Hey, you want to bet some of your brother's gems over there that only 3 of them make it back?"
Sorry, I don't hear this.
I am making it a point to not notice or make it noticeable that I understand them.
Yes, and the young girl, Deep Gnome, says, "Be quiet, Jimjar. You're terrible. Just shut up."
You know, Bregwin was right. This really is a World of Warcraft boss. Look at him compared to us in size.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Just wonk.
it's like, "Hello, I am a normal-sized person."
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun to carry.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
But no, I mean, like he's almost 8 feet tall, like so it is probably hard to carry this guy.
Okay, so I did just roll strength
Okay.
to help shoulder the burden of carrying him.
Mhm.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, is that a saving throw or just a straight thing?
It's a strength athletics.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, I don't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that would only be a 21.
Oh, okay. Only 21. Actually, do you want to just
If I could
Shoulder
shoulder
the
by
entire
myself,
orc
I absolutely
with
will.
that?
I'm going for the cred.
That's good because
Okay.
I only rolled 7.
Okay. Liam?
This dude
Yeah.
weighs a lot. I'm just
Liam, what did you
saying.
get?
So with my +0, I got a 17.
Oh, wow.
You guys are like one finger, and I'm like, I can't. I got nothing.
It's the robes, you know, they get in the
Yeah.
way. It didn't involve a lot of, I didn't do a lot of
Yeah, so I just imagine like you both go over there and you just go like whoop with this orc,
yeah.
and he goes as it gets picked up a little too quickly, maybe on purpose. I don't know.
Oh, it was on purpose on my half. I wasn't going to say that, even if.
And you hear somebody, or you hear Elvis from the back, and Dwarven go, "Oh, great, Morden! Maybe we do have a chance."
So we haul him out.
Yes. So he unlocks it. He undoes the chain between all of you. Obviously, since you're shackled to Eldith as well, so you are still manacled. You still have it around your feet, hands, but you don't have the chain linking you anymore. And this captain plus the one under guard start escorting you across the bridge, and the captain is just looking every one of you over. The guard just kind of seems like whatever. I don't really care what's going on. But this captain just seems like he's studying everybody. Like he's been through the gauntlet before, and he's taking no chances.
Wait! I've just received a sign from
Okay.
the abyss that tells me that I should carry him in chunks, excuse me, rather than all in one. It'll be a lot easier to carry him that way. So I pull out my shiv.
It's
And
fair.
I'm like, sorry about this, Lottie, but
It's going to take a while.
this is going to take a while.
No, wait. No.
Well, what do you think is going to be dinner tonight?
Oh, that's a good point.
He did say prepare the food.
He did.
Mhm.
Just doing. I'm a good slave, as I can say. Thank you, Hutho.
Are you actually saying stuff to them?
I am absolutely not saying a word.
Okay. Just making sure.
Not a chance.
So they lead you out into the left, and you start crossing the bridge that you see there, heading towards the hollowed out stalactite. And you look to your left, you can see there seems to be some sort of waterfall that is cascading over the edge down into the darkness below. And even with your dark vision, Liam, even with your dark vision, Mark, you cannot see the bottom of this place.
Okay.
It's so high up that the floor, you can't see it. You can hear it because you hear the waterfall impacting on what sounds like more water down there, but it's far away.
So hang on.
Mhm.
I hit save state,
Okay.
and then I jump.
All right. You get caught in a spider web and eaten by a giant spider.
No.
So you see
Nobody saw
these.
that coming.
You see these spider webs down here. You look down and you see dozens of giant spiders just hurrying along this massive web. You're even crossing this bridge, and as you're crossing it, you notice that this is made out of woven together strands of spider silk. It seems very sticky, and you're actually having a hard time moving across it, although the drow, for some reason, seem to have no penalties moving across it. You move into a stalactite, and you see this seems to be some sort of guard tower. There are two other drow here. They seems like they are standing at attention, but you see stuff like some sort of card game on the table. It's obvious they were just playing that a moment before this captain came in. They give him a nod, and he takes you out through this way, and you enter through the gate that you saw the other prisoners come out of before. At this point, you are traveling along this rock corridor. You pass through another guard post where it looks like there is just one other drow, not really even on watch, just kind of taking a load off, until they come through a lot of winding twists and turns. You see various other rooms to your left and your right. They seem to be like storage. You see another one that looks to be like a bunk room. You pass another opening, and it looks like there's this lift that goes down into like the abyss far below, and you see some quaggoths sitting there unloading supplies from it, supervised by several guards. It goes into another closed area again, and you finally come to what seems to be a very Spartan dining hall. There are a couple of drow here just eating whatever mess they have in some pots over in the far corner. And there's a storeroom over on the far side next to a bunch of crates. And the captain goes over there and points to it and says, "We'll prepare a meal," and says nothing else. And the other drow kind of leans down, and he's kind of like smirking, like he thinks this is funny. And he says, "I believe the captain would like for you to go in, take the supplies out of the crates, the foodstuffs, and prepare enough for all of the prisoners -1. Do this quickly and you will not be punished." And he looks up at the captain and says, "Is that sufficient, sir?" And the captain says, "Yes."
Okay.
Okay.
I will roll to quickly, efficiently, and quietly prepare some food.
Right.
I don't know what that roll is, and I'm not going to roll it.
I mean, unless you want to purposely mess it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm debating. Actually,
Oh.
okay, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to, so as we start to prepare, I'm going to glance at my comrades with just a...
Well, first,
What
I want to
is
see
the
what we're
other-
working with.
That's a good question too. Go.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. What did you say?
What are we working with for like food?
So they don't leave you a whole lot of instruction. So you go into a little storeroom and you see there's a bunch of crates. There's one of them that's already open, and you look in there, and there's just like a bunch of dried crap. Not literal crap, but
It wouldn't
this,
surprise me.
this may be there's a bunch of dried up like whitish corn, and you're like, this is probably livestock feed that they're, but this is the closest thing to food that you see in this open crate.
This is not for the guards or the captain. This is for the prisoners.
It seems
Yeah.
like it.
Just clarifying.
Yeah.
So what was your question, Guido?
What is the orc doing?
The orc is going against Doctor's advice right now. He seems to be doing what the drow say as much as he can. He's like kind of hobbling on his very hurt and very swollen legs, kind of hobbling towards this thing. You get the sense that he's done this before, prepared food before. And he starts going to the crate and just like grabbing handfuls of this like white Cornish thing, and then he goes over to another crate and he kind of lifts it up, and you see that there's a bunch of plain bowls and other plates and stuff in there. He just like starts scooping it in the bowl, and he kind of turns to everybody and says, "You help, or we punished. We'll get punished if we don't do this. Do something."
Yeah, that's how slavery works. Thank you. I don't say that out loud.
You get the sense that he's very... Well, he's an orc, What else can I say?
I actually have a question. Do I get the sense that he is fully broken?
I
I can roll for that if I have to.
Wisdom insight.
I have it right here. Ooh, God, I'm rolling a lot of 19s tonight. That's going to be a 21.
DC's 22, I'm sorry.
No!
So you've experienced things similar to this before. The sense that you get from this orc is that he's not like fully broken, but he's on the path to that.
Okay.
He made a big show beforehand, but you don't get the sense that he really considers himself in charge, and he's fairly subservient at this point.
I mean, that makes sense. He's not in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I mean, Liam is. Sorry. Liam, oh glorious master.
Really?
What shall we do next?
Speaking of Liam and Taston, what do you two do?
I'm gonna go over and start looking through and seeing what I can do to help to try and like get through this and not escalate it anymore, because somebody already is going hungry.
Mm-hmm. Liam?
I mean, there's no reason not to prepare food for the prisoners. So, I will try and inspect the food to some extent to make sure that we're not giving prisoners rotten food.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make me a straight up intelligence investigation check. You don't have to be proficient in cook utensils, do you? It is a thing you can be proficient in. I'm just checking.
So you said investigation?
Yes.
That is a 19.
19. It's pretty good. So it's not really rotten. And as a matter of fact, you don't think that it would be incredibly easy for this stuff to become rotten. It's dried out livestock feed, basically. So no, it's not going to be very good. It's not very healthy, but it'll fill your stomach up.
Is there anything we can do to improve it?
Well, you could try looking in some of the other crates, although you don't see anything like readily available unless you go over to like the drow's pots to spice this up or to improve it.
I'm not that dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing readily available, we'll do what we can with what we have.
Okay.
So in response to Mark, I'm going to look over at him. Just give the reluctant shrug and continue.
All right. So it doesn't take very long at all to fill up, enough bowls with this nasty dried white corn to get enough for everybody. And Mark, you notice that since you've been keeping an eye on like the mental state of this orc, he seems very dejected, like he knows that something worse is coming. And sure enough, as you take these bowls back to the drow, the younger one, the one who seems to be able to speak common much more fluently than the captain, grabs some of them, looks at it, and then pours the bowl out on the floor and says, "This isn't good enough. Do it again." And he does this in turn, just obviously just pouring out the stuff you've done all over the floor. And says, you clean this up, you refill these bowls. And he points to you, Liam. And you kind of catch on to what's probably happening here. You're probably going to be here for quite a while. Continuously cleaning this up, putting it back in, cleaning it up, putting it back in.
So the first thing I do is I save state.
Okay.
Actually, I am legitimately thinking about this. What do you guys at home? No, that's a bad idea. Never take advice. Never take advice.
You
Pull out the
know
shank and start
better.
going to town.
Yeah, here we go.
You know better.
Yeah, no.
How is my
sorry,
connection to
guys.
magic right now?
Oh, make an Arcana check.
Ooh, that is a good question. I'll do one too.
Yeah, everybody can.
That's really low for me. That's a low.
And actually, Taston, you can substitute a religion check if you'd like.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
All right.
I actually got better than you in Arcana. I'm not
I
bragging. I'm just shaking my head.
I rolled
got-
crap.
I got 16.
16. What did you get, Lore?
11.
11. Okay.
That's with a +0, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
I got a +5.
Woohoo!
And I rolled a 9.
So, Liam, something seems different. Things seem a little more normal outside here. You're not getting that weird sense, but you're just not quite sure if everything's returned to normal. It may just be, your imagination. Mark, you don't have any innate connection to magic, but you do have a key that you can call upon to just kind of check the general flow. Things seem to be like flowing as normal as far as you can tell, which sometimes means that that's the same way that the weave's flowing right now. Sometimes it doesn't, but you're getting good signals. Taston, you do feel a lot better out here. You try and, during this time when you're moving back and forth, they're cleaning up pieces of corn from the cracks as they insist you get every single piece out. You try to reaffirm your connection, and it does feel like so much better out here now that you're out of that cave. Like it feels still very weird, although you don't feel that blocking sense that you had before when you were trying to cast that spell.
Okay.
But this place does still seem to be very desecrated.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to ask the GM for permission to discuss strategy out of character.
Yeah, that's fine.
My thoughts are we could try to break here, or we could try to get the group together back in the cage where we're weaker. And it's an obvious give and take in both situations. What do you guys think?
I'm about to do something dumb.
Oh, great! Thanks for the warning.
Well, seeing as how he's allowing us to discuss strategy.
Yeah, so what I'm kind of imagining here is basically as you're going back and forth, this is you talking discreetly with each other.
Well, because I was kind of wondering, like, how closely are we being watched? Obviously, when we bring up the food to inspect it, they say it's crap, throw it on the floor. But are they watching us as we're Preparing
The
stuff?
younger drow, not really, with the exception of grabbing your stuff and just flinging it all over the place and watching you pick it up, maybe giving you a kick every now and then.
Mhm.
The captain is watching everybody. Like he's a veteran of this, so he's like they're obviously going to maybe try something or maybe steal something, but there is a time when you go to the storeroom. There are brief moments when you are out of sight and not within very easy hearing distance of them,
Okay.
because they're not like standing over your shoulder going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" or anything like that.
Yeah. Because my intent was if we got some distance or to a place where we weren't being watched, I was going to try and see if I could actually heal the orc's leg.
Okay.
Why? Don't answer that.
So there is, during this time, a moment when you both are in this pantry, this storage room, and you see a brief opportunity to try it. Now, it still will be a stealth or a deception or a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Before we get to that,
Yep.
I have to do my dumb thing.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
please, by all means, do the dumb thing.
You want to start with the dumb thing. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Opening with the dumb.
Yes, opening with
Okay.
yes.
It sets the tone, the bar. We need to know where we're going from
gonna
there. So,
die.
yeah.
We have to retcon a little bit
Oh, okay.
Okay.
because when the guy dumps out the bowl and expects me to pick it up,
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I cast Mage Hand if I can.
Okay. You cast Mage Hand. What does your Mage Hand look like?
It is a spectral blue hand that is about the size of Andre the Giant.
Okay. So that is normally what comes out when you cast Mage Hand.
Yes.
Your Mage Hand does appear,
Okay.
but it looks wrong.
Okay.
It is not the blue, the spectral blue that you're used to, is like this sickly greenish purple color. And it
Okay.
seems to be like wavering, like, if you're looking at something through a bunch of water. But you feel a connection to it. You feel like it's working perfectly otherwise.
Okay. I'm going to use it to clean up the corn.
All right. So when that is cast,
Like
You're
I said,
immediately
that-
whipped and beaten
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
it's
No, it's in character.
Would you like to start a new character?
It was in character.
Both of them draw their swords,
I
or
can't
move to
imagine
drawing
why.
their swords. Does anyone want to try and interrupt this? What are you going to let this?
Can I ask that we've at least had the possibility of discussing the bare bones of here or there prior to this event?
Yeah, sure.
Here or there. I mean, just to say this out loud, there, people, no magic. Here, magic, no people. We don't know what other things they have going for and against them.
people may be able to assist. We may be able to get, strength in numbers, as it were, but we can't, we don't know them,
Yeah,
they may be a liability. So
that's true. Taston?
I mean, at least one of them's a trained military man, and one of the people that's with us is already injured, so we can't really count on them because I haven't been able to heal them yet. So we have 3 unarmed people, 1 physical, 2 kind of casting, sort of in a bit, and then we could get just completely cut down by. There's 3 guards here, right? 2 guards and the captain.
So there's one guard and the captain. You did pass two other drow in like the main eating hall on the way in, although they're not immediately here.
And we're probably going to make some noise, and they probably have an alarm set.
So your immediate opponents, your immediate threats here are the captain and the other guard.
I mean, if we do this, the captain's the immediate
Yeah, I mean,
threat.
I'm not going to lie. From an in-character perspective, the odds don't look super good against these people.
Because we're not armed. If we were armed, I'd take that. Even at first level, I'd take that.
Now, if I may, the hand is immediately just going down to sweep. So
this is instinctual when somebody
and I
is
get
guessing.
that. I'm just making it clear what is happening as they're so
it's giving them the finger. We get it.
No.
I mean, you can physically do that. That's a possibility.
I was born into nobility. I don't get my hands dirty.
No, and that's why this makes sense. That's why I'm not surprised that this is how this went.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that you're not going to try and fight them.
It sounds like, that sounds like a very bad idea.
So they finish drawing their weapons. And they both point them at you, Liam. And they both look like deadly serious now that this has happened. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, I'm guessing.
Just casually,
Because when you get the sense they had like no idea what was happening when you started doing this and this thing appeared. The captain turns to the other one and he starts speaking to him in Elvish. And he's a lot more eloquent in Elvish. Is obviously a more fluent language for him. And he says, I wasn't aware that any of them were spellcasters. Have you really been so lax? And the guard says, well, I mean, this was under, the initiates watch, I had no idea. I'm just a guardman. I just work here. And the captain says, Asha will know about this then. Have you checked all of them for any spellcasting instruments? And at this point, let me see. Mark, you're the only one who knows Elvish. You know a little bit about magic. He starts talking to guard, and he seems to think that maybe he has something that they didn't take away or something they didn't do to prevent him from doing this. He obviously doesn't really have much idea about how magic works. That he can just do this without any kind of focus or something like that.
Yeah.
But they discuss making sure that the group is gone through. Anyone else who may potentially be a spellcaster is taken to this person named Asha's quarters, and that they are made to be cut off from their source of magic. You kind of get the feeling that he doesn't know how that's supposedly possible. He's just, handing off a different department and saying that they can do it. So as they finish the discussion, which takes, about the amount of time that it would take to clean up the stuff. Meanwhile, Taston, you actually have like a super good opportunity to try out your healing now.
Okay.
Because they are thoroughly distracted, so I will give you advantage on any checks you make to remain unnoticed.
Okay. So I was going to do sleight of hand.
Okay.
It's 14 and 2, so I'll take 14.
Good choice.
So 14 and 3, 17.
Okay. So you kind of, do a little bit of trickery. You start scooping some stuff, but at the same time, make the motions for your healing spell. How much does it heal?
1d8 plus my spell casting modifier.
All right, so I guess it'd be 1d8 plus your wisdom.
Okay. D8 plus 3, so that's 5.
5. Okay. So you touch this work on kind of like his calf as you're both sitting there just scooping his stuff up. And this orc seems like he wants no part in whatever this magic BS that's going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually looks a little bit scared. He doesn't seem like he knows what's going to happen. But you touch him and he kind of notices, and you see his legs start to heal up, quite a bit after that. Not fully, but quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks at you in surprise, like he had no idea this was something that was even possible. And now, I need you to roll a D100, because as the spell leaves you,
Mm-hmm.
it feels weird. It feels
Demonic.
wrong.
This is what I've been most waiting for since we've got 2 spellcasters in there.
26.
Important thing is this doesn't trigger in cantrips, but it does on first level or higher. 26.
This was a first level spell.
Yes.
Actually,
Okay,
is
great.
Mage Hand a cantrip?
Yeah, Mage Hand is a cantrip.
Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. I was actually wondering why it didn't trigger earlier. Okay.
So something feels strange, and then you notice that this orc goes from looking at his leg to just staring at your forehead.
Yes.
And you realize that your vision seems to have just increased quite a bit.
Yeah, really.
But you're not quite sure why. And the orc says, "You're a shaman." Okay. Can you do my other leg?
Not right now.
Okay.
Oh,
He just-
wait. Can I be funny for a second?
Sure.
He
Just for a
says,
second.
"Can you do my other leg?" And I turn and I start to
No,
wind up
God.
as if I'm going to punch the other leg.
No, not that way.
Not like this.
Yeah.
and I go back to,
Yeah.
to cleaning up.
What? It has to be even? Okay, sure. Hold on. I'll snap this one.
got it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so as he's sitting there, he suddenly realizes he's supposed to be filling up this bowl with this stuff again, and he starts putting it again. He says, we are friends now. Your friend Durant.
Just want to make sure that if something happens that you're ready.
Wait, what's going to happen?
Well, nothing right now, but just in case.
Can I, while he's talking, can I pat his restored knee and just give him a smile?
He looks over his shoulder, and then he leans into Tastin, and he says, "I don't like him."
Did I say shoulder? I meant knee. Sorry.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Height difference.
Yeah.
His punch feels like stone.
Just don't antagonize him. You'll be fine.
It's a good fight, though. I think I win next time.
Let's go with that. Okay.
It's okay.
It's good to have confidence.
Yeah. Have
We
goals.
stick together.
Okay.
We kill the 2 others.
Can I hear
Hold
this?
on.
Can I hear
yeah.
this?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to be sure. I'm not going to react. I'm actually.
He doesn't realize he's not being coy enough to be unheard.
Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to that.
I don't have a pen.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Use a
Right now,
spork.
we can- yeah, exactly. We'll keep working so they don't notice anything.
It would not go over my head. I would catch it.
Yeah. My reflexes are amazing.
Oh,
Can I interrupt really quick and ask you? We've got a new layout. I've been tinkering with it, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. And I'm just curious of people's thoughts. I've spent some time on it.
All right.
I really like those borders. Those are really
I'm
nice.
pretty proud of those. They're actually built out
Let
of
me check them
Celtic
out.
something. I forget what right now. I could go look it up.
Oh, you like it too. All right.
Of course,
So,
just like, like, wow.
meanwhile, back over in Magic Hand Land, they finished their conversation. Liam, you finished picking up the stuff with your mage hand. The younger guard, the captain puts his sword away. The younger guard kind of points his sword at you and says, "You'll cease doing that hand stuff immediately. We will put you to death. We'll not do it again."
And what language is he speaking in?
Common.
Oh, okay. It's not allowed.
Are you mocking me?
Why? Why
I
would
think you are.
why would this not be allowed?
Insubordination. Captain, if you will. And the captain nods to him and says, very good. Come with me. Now. And put your hand away.
Which one?
Very well. And dismiss the mage hand and put my hands in my robe pockets.
Because you and I are going to have a very fun time. And he comes around behind you and he pokes the sword at your back. Says, move.
Very well.
All right. So, Liam is being taken off. The captain is still watching the others. And at this point, the captain doesn't really have any interest in continuing this thing where you just continued to pick up the meal. So he lets you finish as soon as the other guard is gone. Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome. I may be splitting the party, but you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So within a very short time, the rest of you, the three of you, have the bowls of crap in your hand. And you are being led back by the captain, who recruits one of the guards in the main hall to accompany you as well. And meanwhile, Liam, you are taken down another corridor, and you are taken into a room that smells of blood and rust. You see a wide variety of torture instruments in here. There is someone in here, seems to be some sort of, you'd guess, some sort of priestess. She is dressed in very, very heavy spider garments. The spider motif is just all over the place on her. Black gossamer, cloak on her, spider pendant, spider earrings, all of that. And she is sharpening some various instruments of torture on the side. And you see, the classic, there's some spikes, there's some, hot pokers, that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, how many guards are with him right now?
There's the captain and another guard he recruited from the mess hall to
So there's
escort you
3
through.
total.
There's 2 total with you right now.
No. Like, I'm setting it up in tabletop. So, like, he's there. You've got the captain, the guard, and then the torturer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there you go.
And unfortunately, you don't understand Elvish. So he says something in Elvish and then pushes you into the room and shuts the door, and the priestess gets this wicked smile on her face.
In Undercommon, I will say, greetings, my lady.
He says, pig's language. And she turns to...
Pig?
That's what she said. Yes. And she...
These aren't drow?
Yes.
I could have swore drow spoke Undercommon.
Well, she does. She
They
just thinks it's a lower way of communicating.
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
She acted like she understood you. And she turns to the table and pulls off this gnarly-looking whip from it and points to the wall.
For the record, if you try to break out, we'll try to help you. I wouldn't, though.
No. Are there any, I'll say, coat hangers?
They're not coat hangers, but yes.
Okay, close enough. I will disrobe and carefully, because I'm still wearing clothes.
Yeah.
I will take my clothes, off and hang them or fold them,
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she doesn't care. She just wants to get to the point, so to speak. So long story short,
I'm going to get tortured. I realize this.
She doesn't tell you why, anything of that sort. She just seems to want to. Inflict some pain on you for whatever reason that other guard came up with.
So how much damage do I take?
She's very good. You're left with 1 hit point.
Okay.
and you three are back in the cave. You have distributed the food. You actually have enough for exactly everyone in here. If you want to.
How coincidental.
How
I'm
coincidental.
actually not eating mine, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I'm saving mine
Okay.
because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I'm waiting until.
No, you see
Liam gets
a
back.
lot of that. As a matter of fact, once everyone gets back, you see that other deep gnomes start collecting and handing out vet items as only certain people come back. And he
Slowly wrap the chain.
so he
Can
starts,
I keep this chain like it's a memento?
Sure, why not? See, he goes up to you, Mark, and he says, "I don't think we ever got properly introduced. Name's Ginger. Pleasure
Now-
to meet you."
I will hold up my hand for the
Mhm.
handshake. Still not saying anything.
Yeah. And he says, "I know better," and he nods at you.
Now, I'm going to grin like I know what he's talking about, but actually that was a deliberate intent to actually be friendly. So I'm just like, what's he talking about?
Mhm.
All right, whatever. Friendly nod.
And then he nods to Taston over there, and he says, "So, to Taston, he says, so, was it death or just horrible mutilation, or none of the above?"
None of the above so far.
All right. So we expect to see your fine half-orc friend back here sometime soon.
They didn't like the recipe he used for the first batch of what we made.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they generally tend not to like it. I glad that he was not instantly killed on the spot. It's good. Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our motley crew here. Now that we have fewer prying eyes and listening ears here, and by the way, the captain and the other guard that escorted you back, they escort you back. They put you in, and they go back to that stalactite guard post.
Okay.
There's still a line of sight to it, and you do notice that one of them is just occasionally looks out and glances at the bars to make sure they're not open. People are running away, but you don't have somebody standing outside the cell now. Jinder says, "I think you've made a incredible first impression on our friend Ront here," and he motions to the orc, and the orc Ront points to Tast, and he says, "A shaman." And Jinder says, "Really? You don't look like it."
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Ront, yeah, you're stupid. Stop it.
Oh, he's over here.
And Ront seems like he's like, "Oh, okay." The Quaggoth comes over and he says, "Well, it looks like that wound that you have healed is coming up quite nicely," as he's examining the orc's knees. He says, "You are may not be a shaman, but you are a very accomplished healer. Well done. I am Prince Darendil," and then he repeats a phrase in Elven that seems to be a royal greeting.
Tempting, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut for now.
I don't speak Elven, so it's completely lost on me. I'm like,
It sounds
Hey!
flowery.
yeah, it's like,
And
Yeah, you can
good
tell he's
morrow to
being-
you too.
He's just being like overly dramatic with this, but like he's very practiced in it. He says, "Unfortunately, I am stuck in this accursed Quaggoth form. I am a prince of the above world, and I have been in this form due to a witch's curse for many a year now. I'll not bore you with the story of how I came to be here, but just know that you are under my royal protection."
Hang on, I need to roll a dice to not laugh.
So you notice that like Jim Jar just rolls his eyes so hard.
I feel you, buddy. Not that I said it out loud.
All right, and of course, Eldith is still hanging out in the back there. You kind of know her, but she goes up to.
I walk over and start flirting immediately. I'm kidding. No, what I'd like to do is get kind of close, like unpleasantly close
Mhm.
to Sereth here. Oh, it's both sides. And I'm just doing this. I'm still not talking. I'm just looking at him.
So you notice that, and Jim Jar says, and that's Sereth over there. He doesn't talk much, but he's one of those. What's the word? Oh yeah, traitors to the Drow. And he says that incredibly loud. And Sereth says, wrongfully accused. Thank you very much. And Jim Jar says, yeah, he's a traitor. Don't worry about it. Sereth tries to move away from you every chance he gets. He doesn't want anything to do with you.
Oh, absolutely. If I may, I'd like to be like, I'll let him move away, and I'm still looking at him. And then the moment his attention is distracted, I just take like another step towards him.
Yeah, there's this entire game that happens this entire time where you move all the way around the cell. Eventually.
Yeah, just inch by inch. We're just gonna do
magically, you're
this.
always right here.
Yep.
Every time.
Just
about this time.
Actually, real quick, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I rolled well. That's a 15 on history.
Okay.
I want to know how much my character knows about Drow politics, because I know a lot about Drow politics. But
I mean,
I don't mean like exactly Senator Sir Tilwith Jethfrance Flaxley Spatchplantum is the person who's currently in charge of the 3rd district. No, I mean like the general political dynamic.
Yeah. With the 15, I'll say the general political dynamic. I mean, if you're in Menzo Baranson and you're asked to, describe it or participate in, you'd probably be woefully off.
Okay.
But you know enough to get the gist of what someone would talk about if they were discussing Drow politics.
Okay.
I mean, it's something that's not incredibly well known as far as details of the if you're above world.
Especially a male Bragwin. See, what Bragwin's bringing up in chat is part of what I'm thinking here. A male Drow who's a traitor, so to speak, who's in here with the prisoners. I don't buy that.
Oh yeah, you would know it's weird, although you wouldn't know of any specifics of banishment or imprisonment or anything like that to rule out anything specifically weird that may cause this. So it seems weird, but maybe.
I mean, I've heard of them being fed to driders and being fed to spiders and being fed to
as far as you know, it could be some sort of
and being fed to dark dwarves and being fed to worse than dark dwarves.
Seeing a pattern here.
Being fed to elders.
As far as you know, it could be some specific cruel punishment that really shamed this family. Not really sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but it does seem weird.
I wanted my character to know that, my player. That's why I wanted to do the role. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. And about this time, Liam returns. You are being carried by a Drow guard. He has this. No, Drow would carry you. You're being carried by a Quaggoth who's being escorted by a Drow guard. You're being carried rather roughly. It doesn't really help that you have wounds all over your body, and you are unceremoniously with your tunic on, dumped into the cell. And the Darrow comes over, and you see that he has this makeshift walking stick that he's crafted out of what looks like this very spongy type wood. And he kind of pokes at you, Liam, and he says, "He ain't dead. Someone want to get over here and
So I'm gonna
do your shaman stuff?"
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna immediately go over and do just kind of a once-over triage, how screwed is he?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and do a medicine check.
15.
15. All right. Well, he has a 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
And Liam, you're conscious, but just. You're half, and the only reason you're still conscious, if you got that good old half orc
Constitution.
I stay at 1 hit point. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just to interrupt really quick, I immediately stop my game with what's his name, Sereth. He's over here and I'm over here. As soon as I see Liam coming back in, I'm right over here with Liam.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything, but I want to show solidarity because I got nothing else.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, a couple of other go over there and start making sure that you're, okay, Liam, Eldith, the prince, Jim Jar kind of keeps back. Ron is just following Taston like a puppy.
All right. I'm gonna give it another try and do cure wounds, but now that we're back in the cell, I see that going really sideways.
It fizzled out almost immediately as soon as you try to do it in here.
Something in this area is I can't do anything.
The Darrow that was kind of poking at Liam says, "Of course you can't do anything in here." And he points up at the ceiling with his little cane. He says, "It's the Phaserus, son."
Okay. Do I need to roll? Or do I? I have no idea what that is, so I would just ask him. Okay. The what?
New to Underdark, right?
Yes.
The Phaserus, it's some sort of ambient crap that permeates all throughout the Underdark, and it's been really bad lately. Screws up teleportation, spellcasting, basically anything. It gives you weird dreams. It's terrible stuff.
Ooh, actually.
Like Time of Trouble's weird? Or...
I don't think that bad, but
okay.
No, it's really inconvenient. They knew what they were doing when they stuck us in this cave. If you're going to do any casting, I'd recommend you be well away from it. I recognize it by the now you can't see it in here, but in heavy areas of concentration, it's like purple fog or green fog, or something like that. I've seen it before. Sorry, name is Bupido, by the way.
Taston. Well,
Taston.
Do you know of any way to counteract it other than being away from it?
I rolled a 13.
Okay.
On Arcana.
Okay.
What do I know about Phaserist in character?
Nothing you really heard about.
That's a shame. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing you really heard about. He could be BSing, you don't know.
Damn, on a 13 too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Taston. What was your...
Is there a way to counteract it? Or
He says, there is. There is nothing we can really do here. You need some powerful mojo in order to really pierce through. If I were back at my place in Gracklestug, I could probably do. I used to be a fairly accomplished magician myself. Still have a few tricks, but that's long since passed, and I have none of my equipment here.
Okay. Can I do a potential religion check now that I know what to look for and see if this is of like
honestly even
like
Arcana
of magic
really
origin,
debatable.
or is it of like planar, or is it like necrotic? You know, what sort of? And I can't.
Yeah, you can make a religion check to see if you know anything about it religiously.
Okay.
Now, third, I'm going to ask you a weird question. As a GM, don't you think would you think Phaserus would be Arcana or Nature? Check.
I'd accept either. I generally, for a lot of things, I'll accept any type of check. It just you may get different types of information about it.
14.
Unless it obviously has no relation to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do a stealth check on it.
I want to
It's a knowledge check. So what have you got?
14.
All right. Religiously, something you really haven't heard about before. When you think back to your studies and experience, nothing as far as religion goes.
Okay.
What's the DC on this? I'm just curious. It's already failed.
Oh.
No, I was just trying to figure out.
It is actually 20 for this.
I mean, that does make sense given the nature of it, especially at this point since they've discovered why it happened. But
yeah, this is Underdark plus kind of obscure thing.
yeah.
So, although Liam, since you're conscious, if you'd like, you can make an Arcana check.
Get a 20.
I'm wondering if I'm conscious enough to be able to.
That's a good point.
Con save.
I would let you do it at disadvantage, or you can just pass out and try sometime else.
I think at this point, I am less concerned with what's going on around me. My biggest concern is you said I was in my tunic. What happened to like my other clothes? Are they there with me?
Oh, anything you took into the chamber, you get out of it.
Okay.
I was just referring to the stuff you took off. Sorry.
Are they covered in blood?
The stuff you were wearing, yes.
The stuff that I took off, though.
No.
Okay. I'm going to focus on making sure that my clothes are clean.
Okay.
And then probably pass out in the midst of that.
So you're like, all clean.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the fishman, upon seeing you pass out, kind of comes over and speaks to the group and says, if you would allow me, I may place this one in a meditative state so he may quickly heal his wounds. It is something I have just recently discovered. And Jim Jar, everybody actually, just rolls their eyes at him. And Bupido says, don't pay attention to this fish man. He's crazy. And the fish guy says, enlightenment is not insanity. And Bupido says, like I said, he's crazy.
So I look from the fishman to Mark, and then back to the fishman, like, is any truth to this?
See, I'm still pulling the silent treatment. So I'm going to think about this for a minute, and then I'm going to roll an int save or whatever.
Okay.
Because I'm actually curious if there is any truth to this. I don't know what to roll on the out.
So this is somewhat your specialty. So
I mean, yeah, meditation's a real thing, but
yeah. You've never heard of this type of meditation before.
Yeah. That's why I'm like,
yeah, just a straight up wisdom plus your proficiency.
Okay, that's going to be a 17.
17. All right. You've never, like I said, you've never heard of this type of stuff before, and this guy does not seem like he knows what he's talking about. Do you kind of insight that?
Yeah, so I'm still got my arms crossed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn to Taston, still staying quiet. I'm just gonna
Copy that.
and then I'm gonna stab Sonic Doctor in chat really.
Oh,
Yeah, fair enough.
so the fishman kind of like takes the hint and he says, "So be it. If you ever wish for the services of Shushar the Awakened, you may come wake me from my trance."
I slowly wrap the chain around his
Yep, there.
Step one of the trance.
Yes, you understand.
Asphyxiation.
The back to enlightenment.
So he just sits down where he is and he starts making the most annoying gurgling sound, droning gurgling sound you've ever heard.
So I glance at the chain for a second, for real,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like,
Jim Jar says, "It's not worth it.
put the chain down.
Besides, his neck is way too slippery."
And I just have to say, earlier Cord had said, Lore at level 20, slowly wrap the chain around the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, Smog. Go to sleep.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Strength check 35. Shh.
All right. So, Guido, or Liam, sorry,
Right.
you've got a little bit of recovering to do.
A little bit.
You've learned a few things about magic outside the cell. You've learned what a torture chamber is, which is great.
Yeah, that's useful.
Important information because we can
check
get
that off the
equipment
list.
there.
Mm-hmm. You two, you saw other passages leading off to other various places here, although you know the general route to the kitchen area, as well as some of the other places like the barracks, the sleeping area.
Hmm.
Do you know of a few guard posts? And you have met several of the inhabitants here, with the exception of the two like young deep gnomes who seem to just keep to themselves and whisper to each other.
I'm so tempted to go over and try to strangle them, but I'm not going to do that.
Come here, kids.
Look, it's my way of saying hello, okay?
Mhm.
If I may, if I was playing another bluff character, that would be like my thing. Like this in my culture, this is how we say hello: bluff, 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 bluff. To it like a drow guard.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
For real talk for a second. I can't think of a plan of escape other than more or less the obvious.
Well, they're going to take us out at least once more because we're going to have to go do a turn at mucking the stables or whatever their equivalent is, and or making more food. So since we didn't start anything this time, stands to reason on one of the rotations we would be taken out. I've taken like 2 bites of what I have, and then I'm saving the rest for when Liam wakes up.
Yeah, ditto. I'm very seriously rationing the food.
Okay. Yeah,
Hang on,
you
I
can
need
do
to
that
roll.
for a bit, although if you do that for too long, it will start to take some toll.
Yeah.
But you're
I
fine for
figured,
now.
I figured first day,
Yeah.
I can probably get away with that.
I rolled a
And-
9 on Constitution for the food.
You don't have to start making con checks for it yet.
I know it's not
No,
poison.
it's like,
For the actual eating it.
yeah.
So it's probably not the worst thing you've had in the world, but
That's
it's a bit like eating
sad.
gravel.
Why is this not the worst thing? Oh, right. I've had my own cooking before. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot like eating gravel. Jim Jar actually seems to have some better stuff that he's willing to bet. Not even sell, just like if you're next time we're out, he's like, next time we're out, if you can manage to take just like a handful of mushrooms off the wall without any of the drow seeing you, I'll let you trade them. I bet you cannot do that.
Now, funnily enough, I actually do have stealth as one of my whatever skills. So I'm going to hold up food and then the shiv, and then
Yeah, it says the food, obviously.
okay, just want to make sure. I hold up the
I already
hand.
got a shiv.
I pause, take the hand back, and then I nod.
All right. Oh, and by the way, that thing that you got before,
Yeah,
that is a makeshift lockpick.
which I'm probably the only one in the party who can use, aren't I? Huh. Okay.
So you have about an hour or two of some respite. Liam, you at least come to consciousness. Bupido and Prince Darendil, they seem to be the two that are the most diplomatic of the other crew in here. Like they at least seem to at least care what's going on with everybody else. Jim Jar kind of does in a way, but he just seems to be interested in obtaining things and then immediately betting them away. He's constantly going up to people like, I bet you can't do this. And sometimes it's something as simple as, bet you can't toss that rock through the bars from this distance. He just seems to have this obsession with doing this, almost to the point where you think he's a little touched in the head.
I mean, how long has he been here? That's
Oh, well, you asked him, and Bupido says, Jim Jar, he was, I was the second one to get here, and he'd been here for a while.
yeah, enough said.
I think, honestly, he just, he's a little touched in the head, but, they call us Darrow crazy. He's out there. And the prince says, I do say I think he is, as a matter of fact, the most crazy one in here as he, sits there in his Quaggoth body. By the way, have I ever told you about
We immediately
my
leave.
kingdom? Oh, I see.
I'm not the one talking to him. Like one of these two, probably Taston, is the one actually talking because I'm still doing the silent act.
Well, Tassin, like, if you get a chance, the prince will tell you all about his sunny earthly kingdom up above, his many servants, his
What species?
elven.
W-
Well, what type of elf?
Yes. Like there's a lot of elves up there. And down
he talks about it like he was in Eladrin.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically one who more closely aligned with Autumn.
Okay.
But he will talk anyone's ear off about it. And since you're the new folks, he's got new people to tell stories to.
That's true.
And actually, as a matter of fact, everybody roll me a history check because
I was just going to actually do that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's my first
Natural
really
20.
bad roll.
Natural 20. Okay. Liam, you got what's your total, Liam?
25.
25. Oof. Taston?
17.
17. Mark? 5. All right, Mark. Like, this sounds all well and good, but you have no idea if this is true or not.
I'm zoning completely.
Taston,
out.
you hear a bunch of familiar things. Like, yeah, that's something that I remember in the story. Yeah, I mean, I remember that person or that happening. Liam, fortunately, you were paying attention in class. Like Elven History 101. You're like, yes. Everything he's saying, as far as you know, checks out. He is accurately describing events as you have read about and heard about them. From a first-person perspective.
Oh, okay. He's not describing them as if reciting from a book. He's actually describing as if he was there.
Yes.
Okay.
He'll say stuff. It's like, well, I never read about that, but it would make sense that somebody who was in first person there would have known about this.
Okay.
And the way he talks it up, he was a fairly major prince up in the Feywild.
I am going to slowly make my way over to him more than anyone else.
Okay. Oh yeah, he doesn't care who it is. If he even notices you hanging around, he'd be like, well, "Let me tell you about the time when I was in the court and this so and so happened." He will just dump knowledge on you.
I will mention that I come from the court of Lord Alexander.
Okay. He was like, "Oh yes, I've heard of them," and start going on and on. He doesn't seem to know a whole lot about them, but at the very least, his details seem to be accurate.
So, but he's a noble. Of course, I'm going to gravitate towards a noble.
Oh yeah, and he's one of those more down to earth nobles, as far as you can tell, which is especially weird for an Eladrin because they're a little more crazy sometimes. But meanwhile, Eldith and Vupido, Mark, seem to be hanging out with you because they seem to really have been conspiring while you were gone. And Eldith's like, well, I've been talking to Vupido here, and he says that if we can get out of here, another possible place we can go is to, he may not like it, but there's the Durgar city of Gracklestug. And Vupido says, Gracklestug, an awful smog-filled place filled with a bunch of Durgar, but it's closer than Gottelgrim, and if you don't have any beef with Durgar, they don't have any beef with you. If we can get out of there, I can guide us there. That's where I came from originally. I've even got a home there. Logically, it seems like the best possible place to go. They got a military, so they can rebuff the drow in case they chase us. And I've got connections there. It makes sense. What do you think?
Have any of you tried to attempt escape before?
Vupido says, well, yes. There was a group of prisoners here before that attempted escape. None of them are still living. I can only describe their escape attempt from the bars. They knocked one of the guards off of the bridge when they were taken out once. It was 4 of them. And made their way towards the guard post. He points towards the stalactite, the hollowed out one that you can see across the way.
Mm-hmm.
He says they grabbed some weapons there. Apparently they keep, or they kept some swords and crossbows and whatnot there. They put up a good fight, but they were pretty quickly overwhelmed. From what I understand, they were trying to make their way towards the lift. If you went towards the kitchens, I'm sure you've seen it, and you'll see it many more times. That brings supplies up and down to this outpost. I know that was their plan. I thought it was a terrible plan. For one thing, 4 of them unarmed against an entire outpost wasn't going to work. So I stayed here. Good thing I did. But that was the only escape attempt I've known about. Since then, Ilvara has kept a pretty tight ship. I don't have any good ideas for escaping, to be honest.
Okay.
I know what to do once we get out, but that's it.
So do they do a typical shift change or guard change on the same time, or is it random?
No, it's not random. They've got set times. And he tells you the times. So I keep a pretty close eye on those things.
Okay.
It's normally 2 guards over there in that guard post, unless there's something special going on. 2 guards to escort people back and forth. And that captain, he's a strange fellow. You know, back when I was first here, you've probably seen Pretty Boy over with Mr. Silvara. Wasn't always the pretty boy. That captain used to be quite a looker before something. I don't know what disfigured his face with some of those scars, and he fell out of favor. He's been a little sore about that ever since. Didn't used to be relegated to prisoner duty, so he hates all of us. He's not even from a place that speaks common, as you've probably heard.
Okay. Well, I'd say wait until the deepest of night to see if we can take them by surprise if we're able to get out, or we're out on some sort of outside job. But I can't tell what time it is in this place.
I was about to ask, how are you going to know?
I was actually about to say that too.
Nope,
In
I got no
character.
idea. It's always night here, so, you know.
The fungus is a little dimmer than usual.
Yeah, exactly. Seraph, who's just kind of been hanging out in the shadows, trying to keep as far away from Mark as possible, and speaks up and says, "You won't escape out of here. Not by force. You'll need cunning and a devotion to," and he points at you, Tastin, says, "someone other than your pathetic human gods."
Yes, because the Spider Queen is doing so well for you.
He looks like he wants to say something, but he's kind of like touche. And says, "Be that as it may, I still keep faithful even in the most dire of circumstances. Wouldn't you agree that it is an essential component of a true believer?"
Agreed, but you have much more to lose if you come with us, much more to gain if you turn us in or betray us.
I don't think they'd believe whatever I told them. I'm an outcast. Whatever I say to them doesn't matter. Do you know what the fate of outcasts are of the Drow?
Out of character, I do, but in character, no, I don't. Please inform me.
The ultimate sacrifice to Loth. I'm not going to Menzo Baranzan to work as some slave in the Quaggoth pins. I am to be sacrificed.
To what end?
If I knew, perhaps I'd be not here.
He is being sacrificed so that they can have breakfast.
Yeah. I figured they were going to turn him into a drider.
Mm,
No.
no, yeah, that's an honor.
No.
Well,
Yes
Honor.
and no.
yeah, not so much. Not so much.
You have been touched. I mean, you remember? Have you ever read about what happened when Lalt actually came back? God, just messed up.
No. That is the fate of accused murderers.
Actually,
You must have killed someone high ranking.
Would you believe I have no memory of it?
no.
I almost say no, I
Oh.
wouldn't, and then I remember how we got here, and then I walk that back a bit. Okay.
That's straw politics for you. You go to sleep one night, you wake up, and you've been accused of murder. And suddenly you're shipped off to Menzelberranzan to be sacrificed. Such is life. Now, if you excuse me, I have a headache. And he goes into the back to think about whatever it is Drow think about. All right. So Liam, it's been several hours. You come back. You're still at 1 hit point, but at least you're not fading in and out of consciousness now.
Okay.
You've been listening to the stories of Prince Darendel for quite a while, absorbing them. And he's almost taking this caretaker role to you, as far as you can tell, almost like, not like you're a servant, but one of his subjects.
Hmm.
And that's probably the wrong word to use. Like the relationship a prince and maybe a trusted advisor would have in a court.
Okay.
Not like, pathetic subject, but more like, this is what I've done. What do you think of this? And then he goes on and on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do something weird real quick?
Go ahead.
Just while he's doing this, because I imagine this will take some while for this to bear fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to have, probably around the time Sareth was doing his thing, I want to go kind of near him, but not super near him.
Mm-hmm.
Just to the point where he can clearly see me. And I want to start in the sand, basically, or in the cave or whatever. I want to basically carve out a Sava board. And a Sava board. And just kind of start putting pieces into place, little rocks and whatever, as the various pieces of the board. I just want to see if anyone takes notice of that. That's it.
Okay. So as you're doing that, Sarah seems like he has you're just doing something weird.
He doesn't. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
although Bupido the Darrow, as you're sitting there drawing it, he says, "May I?" He points at it, and he finishes it.
So for those of you at home not aware, Sava, which I think I'm mispronouncing again. No, that's right, Sava, is basically a form of drow chess with a few extra variants on it. And I was actually specifically doing this to try and pull Sarah's attention in this direction, and I failed miserably.
Well, no, just make me an insight check, though.
Oh, sure. That's not a good roll. That's an 8.
Nate, all right. Something just really seems off about Seraph. You'd expect that to be something natural to him, but you just sense some odd confusion from him as you were doing that, as he was just sitting there rubbing his head.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting, Guido. I play Sava with Bubido while Guido's doing
He's actually go ahead and just make a straight up intelligence check.
Please roll well for once. That's a 17.
17? All right. He is very incredibly good. I rolled a natural 20 good.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of nodding
yeah, he's you're this guy is actually brilliant. I mean, it's just a game, but still.
That's pretty impressive.
Liam, are you just going to sit here and listen to Prince Darendale forever?
I suppose at this point I should try and find something to eat. People had mentioned that they were saving morsels.
I have absolutely given my food to you by this point. Yeah.
I will roll willpower.
Oh yeah, to see if he'll even touch it.
Yeah.
Not so much that, but to see if I can not gorge myself.
Okay.
What would that be? A save or?
Yeah, it'd be a save.
Why don't I have saves on here?
I don't know. It should just be your wisdom plus your plus 2 your proficiency.
Okay, so then that's a unnatural 20.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah, so you see it and you're like, well, you start to grab a whole bunch and you're like, I know better than this.
So I will slowly take what I feel I need to help me recover from my injuries. I will politely listen to Prince Darendale, but I will eventually excuse myself and make my way over to Taston and Mark.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he says, well, very good. Thank you for listening. If you wish to converse again, I did enjoy our conversation, which was basically just one-sided.
Oh, we will speak again.
Very good. Go in peace. And he says some elven thing that you obviously don't understand.
Yeah. So I will make my way over to. Are you guys actually together, or are you split up?
I think I'm just over by myself right now since I was trying to provoke a response with the chess game. So I'm not sure what Taston's actually doing at this exact moment.
I'm going to see, basically, I'm going to try and commune at this point in time and see if I can kind of push at the edges of what's blocking me out and see, kind of test the boundaries of it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a spellcasting ability check, which would just be your wisdom plus your proficiency.
By the way, no, Dargus. Guido is not my brother.
20, not natural.
Ooh, very good. Okay, so you just concentrate and reach out and just try and probe whatever this thing is, this phaser supposedly, that has been messing this place up and blocking it. And you feel like you start seeing things that you hadn't seen before as you're just sitting there concentrating, almost like there's this purplish haze over the top of the cavern ceiling.
You're hallucinating.
Great. What's in this food?
And you feel like you almost can see the phasers as you just sit there and just concentrate and just reach out at it. That it's just permeating this entire cavern, and that and then you kind of feel sick, like it's not something you should be interacting with, like it's just wrong, it's unnatural. And you feel a little bit angry too, and then you realize that as you're sitting there concentrating on it, just trying to pierce through it, you are almost interacting with everybody surrounding you who is in contact with it, like it is a conduit for emotion, for thoughts. And then it just kind of stops. But you get the sense that this phaser, in addition to being like both a barrier, you think with given enough time, you could potentially try and power your way through, especially in this cave.
Okay.
But you also get the sense that it could go horribly wrong.
That it will go horribly wrong.
That it might go horribly wrong. Yeah. But you do gain some insight into it as well. It seems that in addition to being a barrier, it perhaps is somehow, at least on a subconscious level, connecting everyone that is in contact with it.
Okay. Because I was going to see if, like, my inclination would be to see if I could find its source and maybe try and treat it like, to try and kind of like push it away as like a, like you would turn, like if you're turning undead, you rebuke it essentially. And that's where my religious mindset would go to, like, can I rebuke this through the power?
Yeah. And that would essentially be powering through it. Like I said, where, you could probably at the very least suppress it, maybe at the very most blow it away, almost like, a wind and a vapor.
Okay.
But without much more study, you like have no idea how that might negatively affect you if you do that. Just as
my
is.
Backlash and okay.
Plus, you also need your holy symbol. So there's that.
yes, that's
or the fashion one, which is
number 2 on the list.
Yeah, but I mean, you're getting just some basic field insight into it.
Okay.
All right. So the next few hours pass. Liam, you're becoming more and more awake. You actually do recover a little bit of.
Yeah. How does Taston react when this is occurring?
Well, Taston, are you trying to like hide your reactions, or are you just are you like expressive about this?
Normally it's like calm and just communing with, but then as I feel the resistance, the pressure, and then I start feeling the frustration, I start to kind of look like somebody who's thinking about something with their eyes closed, who's not happy about how this is turning out. Like, not kind of looking frustrated, but not like just, not screaming at anybody.
His hair starts going blonde.
Yeah. I start powering up.
Yep. The little rocks start to float out.
Are you actually trying to hide your reaction?
No.
Okay. So I'm guessing at that point then I would notice your response. In that case, I am going to slowly work my way over to Mark and get his attention and basically do the, nod this way.
I raise my hand to, I can't remember his name, in the middle of the chess game I'm doing over here.
Pupido?
That's it, Pupido. I'm like,
he says, you do what you got to do.
Okay, so I slowly wrap the chain. One last time. I have to do it one last time. Okay.
Joke's on you. I'm into this.
No! Vomit everywhere. Okay, I go with Liam over to test him.
And no, Kid Viper, the TARDIS does not appear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and basically sit down next to Taston. I'm assuming you're kind of in the meditation pose or something.
Just kneeling. And
so I will gently sit next to you, trying to keep my clothes as clean as possible.
Okay, and I'm not sure how long the process takes before I'm like, okay, I've gleaned about as much as I can from this. I've got some more information, but obviously I'm not going to be able to push it away right now, nor should I probably try until I figure out more about it. But I just kind of finish up and I'm frustrated about it, but I'd imagine I come to, or the equivalent thereof, and then just notice that Liam and Mark are next to me.
With a chain.
Yeah.
This
So
seems
somehow,
appropriate.
even though you're sitting there like eyes closed, because of that connection to the Phaedrus, you know they're there even though you don't see them.
Oh, okay.
How evil do our souls look at the moment? Curious. Just
Roll for that.
It's not detect evil or anything.
Just curious. You know, it's like it's like KOTOR. You know, there's the red outline, blue outline. You know.
Yeah.
No, it's just Woogie sense. That's it.
I could feel the pressure and effect of this, and I can't push past it. But I can also feel all of you through it, and also that's also feels really wrong to be able to do. So I'm thinking, given enough time, I might be able to figure out how to find a weakness or hole in it, but at the same time, I don't know enough about it that it could backfire. And since it affects all of us to a different degree, I'm not sure if you want to try and see if you can glean anything from it, but I don't recommend trying to push past it yet until we know more about it.
So Liam, if you recall back to the previous session, something about what he's saying does seem familiar. You remember when you were trying to ponder about why you might be having this shared experience? This could explain why you were all unconscious in this Phaedrus.
I'm not going to say anything yet.
Okay.
But I am going to look between the two of them and ask, is there a plan?
This is a joke none of my viewers right now will get, but what I do is I go. It's an F14 joke. I turned to Taston. Like,
So I don't have a plan per se, but if we do make a run for it, as much as I hate to admit it, they wouldn't expect us to go to the Deep Dwarf City versus the Dwarven Outpost.
I will visibly react like,
I'm not putting my money in with that idea per se, but they wouldn't expect it, is all I'm saying. And both Liam and I are affected unless we're outside of the cell and away from this area. So we're less effective in combat, and I don't know where any of our stuff is. So I'm less effective without my equipment as well. So I'm thinking we'd want to make a move while we're out, and then depending on how this works out, try and work our way back to open the cell, and then people make a run for it. It's also an option that I know it's always bad to split the party, but splitting this group, some go to the Deep Dwarf City, some go to the Dwarven Outpost. That way it splits the chasing for the Drow to do. I'm simply spitballing here.
If we are making a run for it, we'll have to find our gear.
Yes.
because I'll have to have my spell book.
Agreed. So we'll need to figure out how to. Obviously, they're not going to have that out in the open, but we got to see if we can figure out where that would be located, or where they would keep items obtained for prisoners. As much as I hate to admit it, it seems like either Jimjar or Bupido seem to be the most connected with what's going on here, and they've also been here the longest. So they might be the best or most knowledgeable as to where our equipment may be, or where they would take that sort of thing. And they would also know guard rotations, locations of weakness, in as much as if they take us out to do. I keep wanting to think like, take us out to go do, work in the yard, or, go do highway cleanup and that sort of thing, because that's how this works. But the equivalent of like going and doing stuff like that.
I'm going to speak up in character at this point, and I'm going to be like, one thing I'd like to say, personally, the longer we wait, the worse our chances get, I think. I mean, the longer we're here, the weaker we're going to get, the hungrier, the more tired, the more this is going to affect us, and the more chances we have of having what happened to poor Liam happen to us.
Right.
So I think we should basically be ready to move by tomorrow at the latest, if I'm honest.
Agreed. And I'm seeing how they react to magic. I'm going to try and keep my abilities well out of view. And as much as I hate to say it, Liam, you will most likely want to do the same until we're better equipped.
I don't mind shouldering some of the burden, if you will, of the combat for at least a little bit. I mean, they can't take these away from me. Well, you know what I mean.
Hey, yeah.
Whoever laughs, I just punched them really,
Just
really
randomly.
hard.
Ow!
Punch one of the Deep Gnome kids.
Bam! Let me roll damage here. It's a d20, so they take 19 damage.
Wow. That's a fist of the North Star right there.
Actually, speaking of them, you do notice that both of them are just like 5 feet away, just sitting and watching you.
I kind of grab one and then pull.
Wrap the chain.
No. Okay, fine. Now I pull one over and I just pull him up right up to my face and I just look at him.
No, you really want to grab one?
Yeah.
Okay. The boy or the girl?
I
Don't know where they've been.
Whatever the closest one is. So that's
Be the
going to be athletics?
Yes.
What is this? Okay, athletics. I don't have that, so that's going to be a 21.
21. All right. So you just like reach over, just like go boink, kind of grab her, and she like plants her like feet into the ground and just like dragging them along.
And I rolled a 19, so
Yes, great. It's great. Although you do notice that like actually like moves her hands up to like kind of grab at your hand that's grabbing her. She has like really, really long pointed nails. Although you can tell she's making an effort not to poke you with them. Like she doesn't actually want to hurt you.
To be clear, I am also not trying to hurt her. To make that very clear.
She's like, let go of me, weird dwarf. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want any trouble. And meanwhile, her brother over there starts going.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah.
What are you?
He seems a little messed up.
If I have to talk, I will. I was hoping Taston would or Liam would jump in here.
Someone needs their rabies shot.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Move it a little bit further away from me than originally was.
Let me go. You're upsetting. You're upsetting Turvy. You wouldn't like it when he's angry.
I will. I will politely go ahead and let go.
It's better. Why are you just grabbing kids, mister? What's your problem?
I slowly reach out again.
I'll bite you. And she like bares her teeth,
Mhm.
You know, she's got some real gnarly front chompers.
Okay, I want to roll like species.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. It's a 17 on the dice.
Nature.
So 17. Wait, no, that's wisdom, isn't it? Is nature?
It's intelligence.
Nature's it. So 17.
17. I mean, deep gnome.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know deep gnomes had the thing going on.
They don't normally. She's got like some pretty
So my character is
nasty
like,
buck teeth. She's got some very pointy, nasty buck teeth. She's scrawny, like urchin type scrawny.
I turn to look at the others like,
Looks very feral.
I'm not touching it.
I look over. It's my friend's way of asking for some privacy.
There's not very many places to be private here in this cell.
But you
Look,
could give him some room.
Look, I was just wondering if you were trying to get out of here, that's all. I need to get my brother out of here, okay? Are you leaving? Are you trying to get out of here?
I'm going to look at Taston and be like, I'm basically asking you to check out her brother really quick, just with like a medicine roll or something.
Okay, just observation-wise.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
We
exactly.
do it from a
he
distance, or do you
okay?
want to?
That's up to him.
I'll stand up so I can get a better view.
Okay.
I mean, they're granted they're gnomes, so I can see
Hang
over the
on.
top
I
of one
grab
to the
a
other.
clump of mushrooms so he has a better light.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
because granted, out of everyone in here, I have no dark vision.
Yeah, it's dim light.
Yeah. So
I'm
here's
screwed.
here's a little bit of lighting, a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
So make me a medicine check.
Okay. 11.
11. Your best guess, looking at him from here, is probably severe mental affliction.
Hmm.
He's probably suffered a traumatic event and has never really received proper care.
Okay.
Plus, very young. You've seen things similar to this happen before with people on the street that never really got cared for.
Traumatic brain injury.
He looks like they both look very like feral. She seems to be taking it mentally a lot better than him. But
Okay.
he says he's just worried because you grabbed me. That's it.
Raise an eyebrow at her.
We can take care of ourselves. If you're trying to leave, we can help.
If we were making plans to escape, why would we include you? Or any of you for that matter?
We're small, so we can be unnoticed, and we've got like really sharp fingernails and teeth, so we can tear the throat out of any drow who stand in our way. I've killed a lot of people. She hasn't killed a lot of people.
Yes. Negative.
Hang on, let me roll sense motive.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you
No.
know?
A natural 30 on that one.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh yeah, I should probably move. Where are they?
Okay. Wait, all we want to do is get back to our home, okay?
Is it Topsy and Turvy? That's the two?
Yes.
Okay, so there.
Where is your home?
It's Blienstone.
Where's Ront right now?
Where's Ront? He is over there on the side, but he is just staring at the shaman.
Yeah, just uncomfortably close.
Yeah, he's like right here, like
It's like
No, dude.
it's like someone who's like an intense fan of like a magician who's just waiting for him to do his next trick for 5 hours.
I now finally understand how Liam feels on the entire caravan to get to this point.
Yes, exactly. That's actually very similar to what it is.
Damn it. Now I get it.
It all makes sense now. What has Eldith been doing this whole time? She hasn't done anything.
Eldith has been conversing with Bupudo.
So she's over here
Yes.
talking to him.
Sareth has been an edgelord.
Yeah, got to edge it up.
Yeah, he's
refusing to play
still
that.
gurgling over there by the front bars.
God damn it.
Jim Jar he just goes around and does really weird bets, and people eventually get tired of it.
The
So
prince is currently trying to tell a story to.
no, that's
Shishar
perfect.
here.
Yeah, he's going there, and there I was, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
every time.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so real talk for a second. Near as I can tell, it boils down to one of two things: we provoke or we react. So, do you want to provoke or react, basically? Basically, do we break out or do we wait for something to happen?
I want to say wait for an opportunity to be out of the cell to potentially find our gear to make that break happen, and then be able to come back here and get everybody else out and let them go their separate ways.
What do you think, Guido?
Judging by our companions, I'm not sure what opportunities we'll have to break out, but I don't know if I'm up to provoke an attack at this time. I'm worried.
So, under my breath, remember, we're going to be taking them in the Brazen soon. All of us.
Aye.
That'll be the moment, if nothing else happens. But the problem is that'll be under a heavy guard and key under a regular route that probably has patrols on it. So we have the option of provoking, waiting for something, or waiting for that. And I think waiting for that is our worst chance.
Wait,
I turned to my GM.
Hold on. You said waiting for that is our best or worst?
Worst chance by far. It's the least likely to succeed, I think. I turn to the GM and I say, after all, I imagine there's at least one party of GM this far where they just waited until they got killed.
It's gone every single time. It goes a vastly different way.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, there is no right answer.
The food is good so far, so
I slowly turn to look at Taston.
no.
He's staring at the wall, just talking to it. No.
Yeah. Have you tried this?
It's so
No,
good.
actually,
He's licking the fungus on the wall.
Actually, Topsy does say the food is pretty good now that you mention it.
Good God.
I slowly turn to look at Topsy.
My brother and I like it a lot. You don't have any, do you?
No, I gave mine to Liam.
Yeah.
No. Jim Jar comes over and says, "Hey, you wanna?" No, go away.
Sorry.
I have nothing to bet.
I admit, as a player, I'm super torn. Like, really, really torn. Because I can think of a lot of ways this could go. The problem is we have too little information to really leverage. Because what we have is one... What the heck was that?
I don't know. I heard it too, but it sounded like
some
an
sort of
audio
mic
glitch.
thing.
Yeah. We have one drow who is probably going to be turned into a drider or worse.
Sure.
We have one drow who has fallen from grace and he doesn't want to be here. But unfortunately, thanks to the way the drow work, that doesn't make him an ally. That just makes him an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
We have another drow who is currently in a position of favor, which means the only way he would be willing to help with us is if we were somehow able to ensure that. And that's the only, like, it's the tiniest bit of leverage here. Because the best thing we could do that I can see right now politically is reach out to Mr. Current Pretty Boy and say, you want us to get rid of X Pretty Boy to cement your position. And then he gives us like a slight boon, which we then use to additionally leverage to get the hell out of here. And even that is so unlikely to happen that I'm not even willing to do that.
Well, it could be a potential avenue of distraction.
It's true. It could be a distraction. But like my problem is with the way the drow work, you need something to use, and I don't have anything. And that's why I'm sitting here like, so we can't really break out. And if we just try to leave while we're out, we'll get, I mean, there's things a lot faster than us down here. And if we wait until we're in chains going on the convoy, we're doomed and we have no political. I have no answer here. As a player, I'm staring at a no-win scenario. And I hate that. Because I know it's just me being an idiot. They're not going to design a module with a no-win scenario in the first tutorial area.
This is Kobayashi Maru.
Wait, what does it say? Anyways, yeah. So that's
what you say. You called me? My name's Kobe.
Yeah.
Hi, Kobe. Bam. Okay. But I think my knee-jerk reaction is I think we should actually go ahead and try to break. I think that trying to bust out on our terms at a point of opportunity would probably be the best option. Now, and I think there should be like a terminus point on point of opportunity, probably just one day.
Well, either that or we need to find out exactly when they're planning on shipping us off.
Yeah,
and that's going to be our D-Day.
Yeah, and unless it's way out, like a month out or something.
Right,
like
yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
Whichever's first.
We should be getting a subscription, which is always good. and saying thank you very much, the end of line. Much obliged as always, sir. I'll put that towards Assassin's Creed Unity in just a moment. But yeah, we need the terminus point. We need a plan, such as it is. And I guess we're decided going to the dwarf place, the first dwarf place, not the second one. The Dwarger place, not the dwarf place. Let me say that more clearly.
Right.
Yeah, and just to speak up, technically, you were offered a third option as well from the gnomes. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, we could also go to Menza Barazan ourselves if we want.
I mean, yeah, if we wanted to speed this up, and let's go straight there.
It's just
fourth then. Menzo Bronzen, they said Blingenstone.
Yeah, I know. I recognize the Blinkenstone.
So
I'm just going to assume I know what that is in character since I know a decent amount of the history.
Yeah.
So if we deliver Sereth to Menzoberranzan, is there a bounty that we can collect for that? I mean, or at least we could turn in a quest, get some XP, if nothing else.
No,
You are now neutral with Menzoberranzan.
Yeah. Yes. They won't kill us on sight. That's actually a huge thing. Okay, before I move any further, how unlikely is it to disguise myself to look like a dwarger? Like, I'm a shield dwarf, so
not unlikely given the dirt and whatnot around here.
That's
close inspection, no way.
Yeah. But like, if I was just escorting a couple of prisoners from a distance, people wouldn't even bat an eyelash. It'd just be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
So I mentioned this thought to the two of you. Like, that's one of my only other options. Like, basically, we break out, we rush, we basically stop running at that point, and we start disguising, and we start bluffing our way as we continue running. And by running, I mean walking. Just as a thought.
Okay.
I know that doesn't help us getting to that point, but I think that might not be a bad idea once we get out of here.
Well,
has any of us tested the bars?
Not seriously, I don't think. No.
Are these magical?
Who are you asking?
The two people in my party.
is the door even locked?
Yes.
This entire time, we could have left.
Freak! No wonder this is. Oh God! I mean, it's a tutorial dungeon. It makes sense. I mean, this is a level 1 adventure. I keep. I know meta knowledge, but I keep thinking like, there's got to be something I'm missing here.
No, don't think of it like an A to B quest.
I'm just saying, level 1, like whatever we're going to be fighting is probably not super hard.
Open world.
Okay.
Open world in Dark Souls.
All right, I kill myself immediately.
Right, save the time.
You respawn.
All right, so I'll roll. I guess.
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check, but anyone
Liam, are you
can.
gonna do it too? I guess.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the Arcana. But
I'm pretty sure our arcane is a thing. Maybe.
Natural 20.
same.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, both of you look at each other and like you think these are just normal metal bars. Nothing magical about these, as far as you can tell.
Is there a guard on duty right now?
Technically, there are two, but they are over across the bridge in the hollowed out stalactite.
Jesus Christ, Shadow Machine! Don't give Third any ideas.
What's the idea?
He knows how to run a module where you fight multiple Tarrasques.
Oh yeah,
Good God. He's done. It's Planet of the Tarrasques. You should look it up. It's
flying
hysterical.
Tarrasques. It's a thing.
Yep.
Dire Trask.
Well, that's a good idea. I kill myself and then teleport over somewhere else.
Sure. It's even worse.
What I want to do is test the bars without actually accomplishing anything.
Okay.
That's going to require a little bit of precision. So how do you want me to roll this?
I mean, I think it would still be just a straight up. I would accept one or two things:
Okay.
investigation or in athletics.
Viewers at home, do you think I should do athletics or investigation? I'm not trained in either, so. Vote now. For $500, vote athletics. For $5,000, vote investigations. And I want everyone in chat to give me $5,000 right now. Don't actually, please, God, don't actually do that. Largest donation I've ever gotten is $1,000. I don't think I could get.
What a thing.
If only I could.
Kid Viper says athletics. Okay, so 17.
17. Okay. It was going to be the same result either way.
God dang it. Now I'm going to have to stab my GM. I know where he lives, too, so this is going to be very easy.
It's true. So you go out there and you test the bars without actually doing anything to them. Kind of under the guise of, the whole woe is me, I'm just going to sit there on the
I'm
bars.
so horrible. Pull.
They feel pretty strong. Not the best you've ever, tested before. But you think with enough strength, maybe some leverage, you could probably bend them, but it'd have to be a pretty good amount of effort to make a hole that's big enough for like a medium-sized creature.
Actually, I'm mostly worried about Liam, to be honest.
Yeah. Small creatures are going to have a much easier time, though, of which you have several.
Yeah, including me.
A dwarf is a medium.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. You're stout.
I'm fat. You're calling me fat. Okay, so just for the sake of it, because I'll remember it easier, give me like a number range. What the DC is going to be on this.
Higher than 20.
I can do that, but that is going to be rough.
Mm-hmm.
Is the orc awake?
Yeah, he's still standing there, looking at the shaman.
I go for a test. What do you call it? What do you call doing this? Arm wrestling. I go to arm wrestling.
Oh, okay. You go over. You're just like, you want to arm wrestle?
Yeah.
Nimmer says, "I bet."
Oh boy!
I grab him by the neck, hold him here while I'm ready for the arm wrestling.
The orc goes, "Huh? Wait, you want to what?"
Still doing the no talking thing.
No, I don't. I'm not down with it. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Really?
Vomit. Okay. So
okay.
Is this just gonna be straight?
Wait. But let me just ask you why. Think you're a bigger man than me? We'll see what happens.
I did beat the crap out of your knees. Okay, so this is going to be interesting because I actually rolled pretty damn well on that.
Yes. He also is an orc.
Yeah, so I needed to roll well. So.
All right. So. That is a number.
Oh, God damn it. I got a 20.
I got a 6.
What?
So he goes.
I'm sitting here like super nervous, like, oh God, he's going to go like a 24, and I can't even do that. And
so he goes to arm wrestle you, and he's like, all right. And he gets down on his knees, and he's like, oh! And then you just go, boom.
Oh my God. Now, in character and out, what I'm trying to do is gauge his strength to mine.
So
strength
his strength is a lot more than yours, but he wasn't using it well, and then he just decided to get down on a knee for some stupid reason.
Okay,
And then,
that's kind of what I figured.
but he's
Okay.
definitely a lot stronger than you.
That's not
Wait a minute,
surprising.
it's not fair. Then Jim Czar is already passing out bet results.
I was holding you by the neck. How did you?
Somehow he seemed to,
So I'm going to go back to my corner with these two guys.
Mhm.
It'll be very
Shaman.
difficult.
Shaman, my knee's starting again.
Okay, it's going to have to wait. I can't do the same thing here.
But it hurts. Wait, and he says we can go back in the corner and do it.
I offered him some fungus. Hopefully some hallucinogenic fungus.
He just like asks him out and just goes,
Please tell me it actually was hallucinogenic. Can we roll for that?
No, it's just
he
luminous.
just use it a little bit and then just.
Please tell me.
Yeah.
Come on, let me roll for it.
Sure, fine. Roll.
Okay.
Roll d20. Roll to see.
I rolled a 5.
No, it's not hallucinogenic.
Damn it!
But it is flammable.
Ooh.
All right, not now. Fine. Later.
Yeah, I can't fix your knee if we're in the cell.
Oh, okay. So when we get out of the cell for next shift, we can do it.
But we can't let the guards know.
Oh, okay. I got that.
Did you see? Yeah, they took
They
Liam
drew
away.
their swords.
Yeah, that's no good. That's just going to make your knee worse.
Well, we could. Would it help to have medicine?
Yes.
Then we get some the next time we're out.
Okay. Yeah, let's see about doing that.
Okay.
Translation: I have no idea what he's talking about, but if he knows where medicine is, great. I'm on board with it. We'll try that.
They keep it with the swords and the poison, and the other swords and the big swords and the small swords.
Okay.
I'm going to start on the ground, kind of carving the path that I know
Okay.
that we've already walked, and then highlighting the prison. I'm trying to drag his attention to it, where is it?
Oh, it's out there, and he points out the bars.
You said that I had seen a bunch of the rooms.
Yes.
I am going to start drawing on the map and notating what I saw.
Okay. Yeah, so Mark, you start drawing out the map. Liam, you come over and I was taking on this way, so you start filling in the rest of it.
Here, help me out, third.
Okay.
Because I don't actually know what to add other than the prison.
Okay. So let me get the map.
I know there's actually a thing over here because I remember that, and there's another one over here.
Yeah.
And there's so this is the middle thing that's kind of the stalactite that this thing right here.
Yes. Yes.
Get rid of that. Him.
So path that goes. There's waterfall right here. This goes out another door and goes across another bridge over this one. And then you were taken into an inner part of it. Let's see, past another room right here.
Is that a door there too?
Yeah, there was a door right here, and that seemed to be.
Whoops.
There was
seemed
a
to be a
flood.
general barracks area. And then you saw a little lift here, and oh my gosh,
Yeah, we're
this
having
is
a
not
problem.
working.
Yeah.
How about this? How about just assume I'm going to show you a map next time?
Okay.
So I'll actually pre-draw that out and not make these blobs. Oh, now it's working, of course. Okay.
See, what you do is you have something like this. And
Okay, madness.
So yeah, you start drawing, and eventually you distract Ron from not pointing outside and show him that you actually need to draw on the map, not just point to where it is physically. And he's like, "Oh, he kind of gets it, he kind of doesn't." But through talking with him, you kind of figure out that one of the rooms, Liam, that you passed, is where they have it's basically their armory, although he doesn't even know that's what it is. He just knows that's where all the pointy stuff and all the liquid stuff and medicine and stuff is. Because apparently he's been back to the same place that you've been to the time before.
Call me shocked.
Yeah. And actually, as you're drawing this, some of the other prisoners come over and they're like, wait, I can add a little bit to this. And they all start filling it in. Like, even eventually Seraph comes over and he's like, and he fills in like the very last piece, because people are like, well, there's this one holdout stalactite, but nobody's ever been there. He's like, and that is the personal ritual chamber and quarters of Ilvara. So you come up with a pretty good map, as far as you know, of this area. And it seems like there's a lot of small guard posts around the place. The biggest one is honestly the one across from where you are. Otherwise, it's just big enough for one person. There's the Quaggoth pins that you never went past. Although, obviously, they know where it is because they came from there earlier today. There's your cell. Some of them mentioned that they've gone to the waterfall a few times, and that's where they dump the excrement and wash anything that needs to be washed. You know where the barracks is. You know where the dining area is, of course. You know that there's another general storage area. You know where the lift is. And that seems to be about all there is. The only thing that's really shrouded in mystery is that one stalactite where Seraph says that's where Ilvara is, but he knows that there's something on the lower level as well. He says probably some sort of holy area, a shrine, or maybe there's some extra goodies there that she doesn't want or anything. He just knows that Ilvara is there. He's seen in it briefly where there is a massive statue to Loth and some sort of bed chambers, and that's about all he knows. But this place, all in all, isn't incredibly large. Most of it are barracks, storage areas, and then some guard posts, Quaggoth pins. That's about it. The only way that they seem to get up and down, as far as anyone knows, is the lift.
That's not good.
Yeah. Although, actually, there is one thing that Jimjar knows. And just say there are 3 areas of exit once you reach the cavern floor, which he says is, apparently he was awake when he came in here, although he won't say why. About 120 feet down from here is the cavern floor. And there are 3 areas of exit. He says one of them leads to Menzel Baranzan. The other ones lead to Blingenstone and Gracklestug and all the other places of the Underdark. And the other one, he doesn't know where it leads.
Okay. It's okay, guys. I think we could make that fall. We just have to withstand 20 d6 damage to do so.
I'm ready for that.
Oh, no, it's only 12d6. It's fine.
Oh, no.
I looked. Oh, I guess you're right. It is only 12 d6. You're right. Sorry, 12 d6.
Yeah, it's probably survivable, for sure.
It's a minimum of 12 damage, which I can't survive.
Topsy actually says, was it Topsy? Which one's the girl?
You look at that picture
Topsy.
and you tell
me.
me.
Topsy.
Oh, it says female right there. Never mind.
Yes. Topsy says, we've considered jumping down the waterfall before. Maybe it will allow us to at least survive. I think we could do it. We jump. We're very durable. No, look.
Negative.
No, very durable. Like, you wouldn't know the pain you would receive if you tried to fight me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to test it out, I'm all for throwing you over the edge.
Yeah, I was about to say, all right, hang on. You slip through the bars,
Not sure how this
and you go
goes,
jump
but all
over
right.
the edge, and we'll
Says-
see what happens.
Really? Would you throw us over the waterfall if we escaped?
Yeah, here you go. Bye. I do not say that.
She seems like she's serious.
I really do not see that in character.
Just a
Zachariah.
moment of all 12 of you just kind of like just stare at Topsy, and it's like, no.
Seems like a bad idea.
All
Gonna
right,
do the superhero landing. Gonna do the superhero landing.
Splat.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's water. It'll cushion the fall, like in the movies.
Oh my god. Actually, just because I'm curious here. Okay, so here's the
Yep.
falling damage.
Perfect. Oh, yeah.
36.
No worries.
36 damage. I mean, in a few more levels, maybe.
Yeah, a few more levels maybe. You would at least only be knocked unconscious instead of killed instantly.
So that's my damage. So then Liam jumps. He takes 31. And then Taston jumps, and he takes 47.
So if you rolled low enough, Liam could survive it. Just because if it doesn't instantly kill him, he drops to 1 HP.
Oh,
Jesus.
okay. So we
So
throw
that's
him
good.
first.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it seems like it does seem like a very dire situation.
And we're doomed.
Yes. But you don't know when you're being shipped off to Menzo Baranzan.
We need to figure that out.
It may be
Does any of the
tomorrow.
do any of the prisoners know?
Do
That's a
they
no.
know? Let's see.
I see the chess game hasn't moved. Why?
Oh, wow, you got lucky. So I rolled for each of them. It was like 6, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. Natural 20.
Who was the 20?
1, 2.
It's Ront.
Oh God, no.
It is.
Yep,
He's
that
like,
checks out.
he's like, oh yeah, that place that you're, yeah.
Menzo
What about
Baranzan.
Menzo.
Menzo Baranzan.
Oh.
Yeah, there.
Actually, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right.
The drow place. Yeah, wait, what about it? Oh, want to go in there?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Ugly Face saying he gets out of here with all of us in 10 days.
Too long.
But that was, let me see. I don't know how long ago that was, though. It's hard to keep track of time.
How many meals have you had?
Oh!
Math.
Does it count the time when I stole food from somebody?
No.
Okay. 4.
So in 6 days.
Okay, I guess that math checks out. I don't know.
What's 10 minus 4?
Hold on.
Mongo just pawn in.
I'm gonna look at the other two, and I'm just gonna be like, too long. That's too long of a wait, I think.
Yeah. Bupido speaks up and he says, if I might suggest that if you're planning an escape and it looks like you're well on your way to doing that, you're going to need the help of everyone around here instead of just you 3. So what would you like us to do?
Well, first you need to put in a good word for me and Eldith, because she just keeps giving me the cold shoulder, and it's kind of hurting my self-esteem, you know.
I'm not.
She has done nothing. It's the weirdest thing. All of the NPCs have talked and interacted with us except her.
Yep.
So we kill her and eat her.
Wait, what?
That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's talked to me?
Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Oh my God. So we kill Buffalo and eat him. There we go. Okay.
That's 2 meals right there.
But that's true. So we got rations, guys.
Great. We're so ready to go.
But for real, I'm just going to turn to my fellow cohorts. I'm not this tactician in character. I'm just the puncher. I'm the historian and the puncher. Those are my two shticks.
History puncher. Okay.
Yep. I will punch the lore into you. Oh my god, I'm literally playing a lore walker. I just realized that. For those of you not aware, in World of Warcraft, there's an order of Pandarans who are monks who are historians.
Perfect.
And Steradil says, he kind of takes Liam by the shoulder and he says, this reminds me of a story about a time when some of my elite warriors...
punch him as hard as I can. I will roll to attack.
There's a moral, I promise you.
Like, he sees me winding up.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
No, I had something for this.
Jimjar says, I bet we can get out of here in 3 days.
I roll up my sleeve again.
But no. I'm serious. Look, we're going to need some gear, right? And who better to procure some gear than myself? If you need something snatched, then I can probably do it. Like, holy man, you want your holy symbol back? I know where it is.
Okay, where?
It is currently hanging around the neck of the initiate of Loth.
Of course it is. Of course.
So we got to kill him. That's easy.
No, her.
Yeah, I was gonna say her, but yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, Drow. Duh.
But I have a special way of acquiring materials around here. So if you want it, I can get it for you next time I go out.
What's it gonna cost me?
What's it gonna cost you? Well, I think my freedom from this terrible place is payment enough.
Consider it done.
All right. The question is, what can you actually do with it?
Well, with the holy
we'll
symbol
find
and not being in this cell, hopefully, I have all my abilities back.
Now, Mr. Spell Orc.
He has a name.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Because so far it's just been, I'm going to sit on your face. As Rod can attest to. What is your name, sir? I'm sorry. It was rude for me to assume you're just Spell Orc.
And why would you assume that I do anything with spells?
Oh, I have a way of hearing about stuff.
You realize that's a bit suspicious.
Yeah. Look, you either want my help and I can give it to you, or not.
I'll look over at the other two.
Our options are not really wide at this point.
I just shrug in character.
Realize I'm not as trusting as my companions.
As I'm tightening the chain.
Yeah.
I completely understand. Get off of me. I completely understand. And that is a very wise policy, sir. I am not too trusting of anybody else. But as I see it, it's either that or get fed to some giant spider in Menzel Baranzan. I mean, and
If
people
you
around
can
here
get my spellbook back, it would go a long way to earning trust. Not saying I will trust you, but it would go a long way to earning trust.
Well, I think I can potentially manage that tomorrow. Next time I go out. Besides, I mean, everyone here will attest that I am a trustworthy person. Isn't that right? And he turns to look at everybody. Nobody says anything. Yeah. Tough crowd.
Mm.
I will need to make sure that we have certain people on my next work shift, though. They only take us out in pairs of 2.
And what is it that you do when you're out on work shift?
Oh, to them, whatever job they assign to me. But I have a certain way of making myself unseen without them knowing. And through it, I've been able to acquire various bits of things around here. I won't reveal all my secrets, but just trust me that I have my ways. But I will need certain people with me. I will need the 2 twins. He points at the 2 other deep gnomes. And actually, the 4th one can just be anyone. So the fish man, who's still over there gurgling.
Great. Perfect.
So nobody else. The next time they come for volunteers, make yourself visible in front and center. Just us 4.
Okay.
And I'll get you what you need. In the meantime, be thinking about how exactly you're going to get out of here and how you're going to use everybody. So, it is getting close to midnight.
It is.
So I think we should probably stop for now.
I want to just make note that the next time the gate opens, I want to try and observe the locking mechanism.
Okay. Okay. So I will say this.
I'm just putting that on record.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just fast forward to that because nothing much happens between then and the next shift. But
Or we can just pick up there.
yeah, that's where we'll pick up as they come next time, and assuming nobody tries anything really weird, they start looking in there, obviously, for people to pick for the next work shift, and all the deep gnomes kind of push the fish person forward discreetly, and they all 4 are taken off. The locking mechanism. It seems to be operated by a key next to the bars built into the wall. It is just a key, click, click, unlock, pull the bars open, get the people, close the bars, click, click, and it's done.
What do the bars latch to? Like in the wall?
Yeah, there's like, it looks like there's basically, essentially that. Yeah, like a big, rod that goes into them. It looks pretty secure. The weak point would probably be the actual bars themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And those 4 set off. Now, you are brought some more corn. You don't have to get it this time. The captain makes a return along with Pretty Boy, who seems to be on assignment, and it's obvious that old Scarface just cannot stand this guy. He's trying to maintain some professionalism, but it's slipping every now and then as the Pretty Boy is gloating in Elvish to him about all the various things that he has been promised by Elvara, all that sort of mess. So we'll pick up next time as you're being fed your meals by these 2 happy campers.
Cool.
All right. And Mark? I'm assuming you rationed some away. So as you're digging in your bowl for some stuff, you find a note in it.
Who does, me?
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
The dwarf.
Yes.
The idiot.
Yes.
The moron.
Yes.
The incompetent fool.
It's written in Elvish.
Ah,
What does it
perfect.
say?
No, we'll find it next time.
Oh, come on. That's actually funny. I was going to pull an Elvish trick, but I wanted to wait until later to do it. Okay. There's an Elvish note, and it says, hang on. Let's see here. Wither, weather, withered better. No.
This is Peter Piper picked the pick of pickled peppers. Actually, it says I prepared explosive runes today.
There's actually a lot of tongue twisters. Oh my god.
Just looking up tongue twisters.
Yeah. Apparently, good blood. Oh my god, I'm already screwing it up. Good blood, bad blood, and you're supposed to repeat it 3 times. It's pretty bad.
Good blood, bad blood. Good blood, bad blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah!
And also, which wristwatches are Swiss? Oh my god!
Nope.
Which
No.
wristwatches are Swiss wristwatches?
I
Damn.
can already tell you the result of that one now.
Yeah. Anyways, so are we done?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens is I immediately save state.
Okay.
And I walk over to what's his name? Jim Jar. I say, hey,
Okay.
Jim Jar. And I'm speaking Elvish. I say, hey, Jim Jar.
Sure. Like
And I
what?
strangle him to death.
Uh-huh.
Then I break his neck. And then I hand him to the 2 twins. And I say, here's your rations for the day.
Yum, yum. They eat up.
Okay, good. So I kill them. And I feed them. And I just do this until there's like only one last prisoner left who has eaten everyone else, technically.
And then you have all the prisoners combined into one. Perfect
See?
sense.
For easy transport.
You got to
Yeah.
think. You got to think things through. Ahem.
All right.
No, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and chop off the
Yep.
stream because it is midnight.
Yeah.
It is definitely late. So, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.